know that now the actual perception of everything is starting to change right now. A couple months ago, everybody thought it was going to be a whitewash in the actual midterms. Now you have some people saying that the Democrats actually have a realistic shot and whatnot. So we're gonna cover that tonight. We're gonna talk about Karen Bass. So y'all,
I really don't think so. I really don't.
Really on what, Ray?
I really don't believe people that the Democrats are going to take it. I just do not believe that. People have not forgotten about this COVID shot. We have not forgotten how many people lost jobs. We have not forgotten about that. That was for fun. People were so worried in the propaganda that they pushed on us. Basically, what happened was they forced us to take it, and if we didn't, and they tried to say that was a choice. Like, no, if you take away, my way of being able to work until I comply, that's not a damn choice. People have forgotten about it. And then obviously, you already know what the Republicans, excuse me, the Democrats are going to push, Roe versus Wade, Roe versus Wade. That's really the only thing they can say is Roe versus Wade. And shame tactics to try to get black men out to the polls. But that's why I'm just not going for it. They can go to hell. I'm not dealing with that crap.
Hey, Ray, my thing is this. The billions of dollars that fell out the sky for everybody else but black people. That's my thing. I mean, hey, you want $1 billion? Here you go. You want $1 billion? Here you go. You want Here you go. Negro act to a few thousand to go back to school. Nothing I can do for it.
Exactly, man. Don't forget about those black farmers that were supposed to got that money when Mike got it off.
There you go.
They ain't got a damn dime. They ain't got nothing to show for it. Like I said, man, you only can fool the people for so damn long. I think enough of us is like, you know what, we're not this for this. We'll sit out because either way, we ain't really getting that out of it. The Republicans don't offer this shit. The Democrats only act like they offer this shit. Like Stacey Abrams, I was reading through her program, Black Men or whatever she calls it, man. It's all lift off program. That's all it is. Lift everybody up. We stay on the bottom. That doesn't close the racial wealth gap at all. I mean, I'm tired of these games. I'm not playing with them. They can try all that. I'm not voting for them. They can go to hell.
What I want to see, me personally, and this is for the black family. I want to see the Democrats crash and burn so we can say, now you see what it's like when we all think like one organism, when we all move alike, behave alike. I really want to be able to say that.
I feel you. I'm sorry, dude.
Oh no. I was just checking with DJ. DJ, how's your audio? Your connection is straight?
Yeah, everything good. What's up, Ray? What's up, Black Pressure? What's going on, everybody?
What's up, DJ?
What up? Let's get it.
Give a shout out to.
What you just asked me, Black Pressure?
Real quick, let me give a shout out to Carlos, Black Lion, and Yahweh up in the spot as well too. So we're gonna definitely go ahead and we're gonna get this thing moving along. Like I say, we got a little video that we want you to play. DJ gonna play a video by Karen Bass, and I'm gonna touch up on this article as well from Black Star News and the AP about the actual midterms, and it's saying the 2022 midterms Republican wave momentum crashing is asking the question. So they want to know if the actual momentum that the Republican Party actually had, if this actually crashes. So I'm gonna touch up on this real quick, y'all. Just get us started and whatnot. A little article, decent little linked article or whatever. Touch up on that. We can all chime in and go ahead and get this thing started. And also, DJ got a really, really, really good video tonight from about Karen Bass that your boy TD Hip Hop did. So DJ, when you play that video, make sure you start back at I think it's about the 9:28 mark of that video is where he goes in and he starts dissecting Karen Bass. And like I said, this brother, he's definitely on point and whatnot. I don't know if he's a Black American or not, but he definitely has a Black first mindset. He's definitely about Black people. So shout out to that brother. If y'all haven't subscribed to his YouTube channel, definitely go ahead and check that out. And like I said, this title is this was published by Black Star News. They actually curated from the AP Press, and I actually curated from Black Star News. Is the 2022 midterms, Republican red wave momentum crashing. The political landscape, while still in flux, follows a string of President Joe Biden's legislative victories on climate, healthcare, and gun violence. Just as Donald Trump's hand-picked candidates in electoral battlegrounds like Arizona, Georgia, Ohio, and Pennsylvania struggle to broaden their appeal, but nothing has undermined the GOP's momentum more than the Supreme Court's stunning decision in June to end abortion protections, which triggered a swift backlash even in the reddest of red states. The midterm looks and feels significantly different than it did 6 months ago, said veteran Republican pollster Neil Newhouse. The abortion ruling has energized some segments, especially the Democrat Party, and it has thrown a wrench, at least to some extent, in the hopes of winning a ton of seats. History suggests Republicans should dominate the November elections. In the modern era, the party that holds the White House has lost congressional seats in virtually every first term president's first midterm election. Ronald Reagan lost 26 House seats. Bill Clinton lost 52. Barack Obama lost 63, and Trump lost 40. Only George W. Bush Republican Party enjoyed a modest 8-seat gain in his first midterm, coming after the September 11th terrorist attack. 9 weeks before Election Day, leading operatives in both parties expect Republicans to pick up roughly 10 to 20 House seats, which would give the GOP a narrow majority in the chamber in November and break up the Democrats' control of the federal government. But many Republicans are losing confidence in the high stakes fight for the Senate majority and key governorships across the nation. In Pennsylvania, Democrat candidate Josh Shapiro argues that his focus on public safety, education, the economy, and freedom is driving his momentum, but concedes that his opponent is also a major factor. Folks trust me to get it done, Shapiro, the state attorney general told the Associated Press. And in fairness, in part, is because I'm running against a guy who's by far the most extreme and dangerous candidate in the nation. In one of the nation's most important swing states, Republican nominated Doug Mastrino as their nominee for governor, even after learning about his leading role in Trump's push to overturn the 2020 election. The state senator and retired military officer helped organize the state's effort to submit fake presidential electors beholden to Trump and was seen outside the Capitol as pro-Trump demonstrators attacked police on January 6, 2021. He also alienated moderate voters and even some Republicans with divisive positions on several issues, including abortion, which he opposes in all circumstances. His campaign did not respond to an interview request for this story. Shapiro will launch his first TV ad of the fall campaign on Tuesday, casting Mastrino fierce opposition to abortion rights and gay marriages as a threat to Pennsylvania's economy. The ad is the first spot in a $16.9 million television advertising investment the campaign reserved for the 9 weeks leading up to Election Day. Republican National Committee Chair Ronna McDonald acknowledged that the GOP must sharpen its message on abortion given the Democrats' apparent momentum. We can't allow them to control the narrative, McDonald said in an interview. She emphasized Republican leaders' record of supporting exceptions for abortion in some cases of rape, incest, and the life of a mother, sidestepping questions about candidates like Mastrino, Georgia Senate nominee Herschel Walker, and Florida Senator Marco Rubio, who oppose such exceptions. I'm not going to speak about every candidate and where they're at, McDonald said, but the past four Republican presidents since Roe believed in the exception. And that is where I think a lot of the American people are, according to the polling. But they also believe in limitations, and Democrats have shown no inclination to have any limitation. On the Republican Party's broader midterm outlook, McDonald said top races were always likely to tighten despite the conventional wisdom that a massive red wave was building. Many of these states are battleground states, she said. It's going to be tight. On paper, Republicans continue to enjoy tremendous advantages. Beyond the weight of history, Democrats are saddled with Biden's low ratings as roughly 7 to 10 voters believe the country is headed in the wrong direction. Democrat strategists acknowledge serious political headwinds as inflation and pessimism surge, but they know gas prices have ticked down, pandemic worries have waned, and Biden has won a major legislative victories on several key issues. Republicans haven't taken advantage of the bad political environment, and they punted on having an agenda or getting anything done, said Biden pollster, who was far less confident about the midterm outlook at the beginning of the summer. Historically, this should be a 30 to 40 seat win by Republicans, he added. The entire Republican Party has been one big mistake for the past 4 or 5 months. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell has blamed GOP candidate quality for why his party was more likely to win the White House, win the House, than the Senate. Florida Senator Rick Scott, who leads the Senate GOP campaign arm, sees it differently. He and I clearly have a disagreement on this. I think we got great candidates, Scott told the AP, citing opportunities to challenge Democrats in blue states like Colorado and Washington state. I think we're doing fine. Scott did acknowledge some uncertainty involved in Trump's role in the coming weeks. The former president helped his loyalists, most of whom embrace his conspiracy theories about the 2020 election, win primary elections across the country throughout the spring and summer, but it's unclear how Trump will help them, if at all, as the election moves into the fall. He's got a choice about what he wants to do. He clearly has some candidates that he wanted to get through the primaries, and they did, Scott said. He'll make his own decision on what he wants to do. At the same time, a disproportionate number of women are registering to vote, and if recent voting patterns hold, that's good news for Democrats. In at least 7 states, women made up a higher share of newly registered voters following the overturning of Roe versus Wade, according to an AP analysis of voter data from L2, a nonpartisan data provider. In the 5 weeks after the court eliminated the constitutional right to abortion, women made up 64% of new Kansas registrations. Then on August 2nd, Kansas voters overwhelmingly rejected a ballot measure that would have let state lawmakers impose new restrictions on abortions. Trump-backed Republicans who oppose abortion rights are fighting for momentum in several swing states. A leading Republican Senate super PAC recently canceled television and, reservations in Arizona, where Blake Masters is running, while committing $28 million to help Trump loyalist J.D. Vance in Ohio, a state Trump carried by 8 points in the last election. In Pennsylvania, there are concerns that Mastrino is dragging down the rest of the Republican ticket, while Trump endorsed GOP Senate Dr. Oz is struggling with his residency questions, and in Georgia, Walker is facing difficult questions about his past and opposition to abortion in all cases. Representative Tom Emmer, the Minnesota Republican who leads the House GOP campaign arm, warned his party about taking things for granted. He noted that most of the seats Republicans are targeting this fall are in districts Biden carried, a contrast from the past elections where Republicans found success in GOP-leaning districts. Don't be measuring the drapes, he told AMP in a message to Republican colleagues. This isn't your typical midterm that we're talking about. So, there you have it. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have anything they like to add about it? Because even some of the Republicans themselves seem a little bit leery, a little bit worried about it, especially since you had this Roe versus Wade thing that got overturned. Also, you have a lot of Republicans here in Florida. You have Marco Rubio saying under no circumstance do he believe a woman should have an abortion, which is going to alienate a certain amount of women to a certain degree, because if you mean to tell me that if a woman's health is at risk, you don't think she should go ahead and abort the actual pregnancy if it means that it could actually kill her? So certain things are common sense. I know they're trying to rev up a certain section of their actual party that's just anti-abortion altogether. I don't support abortion either, but I do believe that you have to make some exceptions. One, if a woman's health is at risk, you have to do it for that woman's health. Two, in the cases of rape and incest, you know, that also is something that I think that you seriously have to consider. You seriously have to go ahead and go along with. Black person, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Just real quick notes. I'm with you. Don't get me wrong. I'm with you on the abortion. I'm, definitely agree with what you say. But let's be real. When you look at the condition, and I'm talking about right now, I'm not talking about the past or anything like. I'm talking about right now. When you look at the condition of the black family in America, look at the dire straits we come from. You really think when we wake up and sit up in bed in the morning, abortion rights are on our mind? And God land my plane right there.
Oh, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. I think what it's basically trying to say to is that in a lot of these states, you remember right after this thing got overturned that you had a bunch of women and stuff out there that really, really made this a battle cry. So pretty much the Democrats just trying to go ahead and ride this momentum as well. You're gonna have, we already said it before, you're gonna have them talking about how they responded to the pandemic, how they're fighting for women's rights with abortion and things of that nature. So those are going to be the big two things that they're going to actually talk about in terms of trying to maintain the actual control of the House and the Senate. Ray, you got it.
What's going on, family? Something I wanted to add is something that they definitely aren't going to bring up is the fact that we have all these black, I'm gonna say states, all these black cities around America that still don't have clean water, and most of them are ran by Democrats. We definitely need to bring that up. They need to be held accountable for that. Because I guarantee you, any white neighborhood in America, this wouldn't have lasted this long. Like, what is that? Flint, Michigan. It's been, what, 8 years? And that's they still doesn't have, good clean water for people to drink, which is a basic necessity, just having clean water. So that's something else that needs to be held to the fire coming in.
Hey, Tyler, drop me down real quick. I'm gonna have to reset my phone real fast. All right.
Okay, I got you. Hey Ray, I'm in agreement with you on that as well too. I mean, we know that if Flint and Jackson and other places that's having issue with water was a predominantly white city, first off, you wouldn't hear about it. They would have got the funds that they needed to go ahead and maintain the water system and stuff like that. So we actually know, um, we actually in agreement on that part right there too. And black pressure, I want you to also, like, you're right. Like when you wake up when you wake up in the morning time, nobody's thinking about abortion. Like at least most of us not, you know. But they feel that abortion is a winning topic for the simple fact that they feel that this is a way to get the female vote as well too, and they feel like this is a vote that you can get cross color lines as well too. That this is an issue. Why do you think that they consistently keep telling black women about that you're going to be impacted the most by abortion? That abortion is no longer legal and this and that and that. You're going to feel it more than anybody. And then they'll start throwing in the women of color, like blacks and Hispanic women, are going to be impacted the most by the actual repeal of the Roe versus Wade. Wait, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, but we all know that's a lie. It's not our numbers that are going down. It's basically, the white people. Their numbers are the ones that are going down, which is the reason why they fought so hard to get overturned. Because, like you said, they're trying to save a lot of these babies. And, yeah, I just want to mark my words. I say it this way. In the next 2 months, there's going to be so much propaganda thrown at us because, like I said earlier, they want us to forget about these COVID shots. They want us to forget about everything. They're going to, can't let Trump in. It's going to be one of those type of vibes for the next 2 months. Because, obviously they don't want to get people in, position to be able to put Trump back in office and things of that nature. And I want to add, I'm sorry, I want to add one more thing, man. We got some crazy people that are going for real, for real. I mean, the amount of insane people and things I've been seeing. I was going to ask you if you seen this latest trend where people are cooking chicken and night well. And I'm not trying to get off topic, but I had to ask you that.
No, I didn't see it. I didn't get a chance to check it out. I'm pretty sure that we'll be seeing more and more of that kind of stuff. But this sounds like this must be TikTok here related.
Yep, you already know. I'm going to yell my mic on that.
Yeah, I know that's got to be TikTok related. And let's look at some of the issues that they say that the Democrats are going to try to champion and actually try to pull this thing out. They're going to talk about the actual climate. We having the issues with the climate. We're going to talk about health care and gun violence and abortion. So those are going to be the topics that they center the argument around about trying to do. We know right now that we have a major battle about the climate control and also environmental racism and stuff that impacts black people. So these are going to be two main issues, along with the abortion. Along, of course, we know with gun violence. We know with all of the mass shootings and everything from Buffalo to Uvalde to hell, you name it, gun violence and trying to get rid of assault rifles and everything else is going to be like a major battle cry for the Democratic Party. So they're going to try to definitely go ahead and pull at the heartstrings as much as possible to try to pull this thing out. You got it, Black Pressure.
And one thing I can say about one of the issues that definitely should affect black people, you should care. And so, I live in Houston, so There's this young lady that I talked to, and she lives in an area we call the medical center. So what I have to do, I drive by Minute Maid Park where the Astros play. So this literally is a it's funny how Houston is so gentrified. The one side of 59 is $500,000 houses. The other side, where you have to loop under the freeway to I have to make the loop to the neighborhood where she stays. Man, the young brothers that are out there homeless, and I'm not talking about how you can look at a homeless person and tell the ones that chose drugs and purposely sabotage themselves. These are healthy looking brothers, man, that it breaks my heart because I look at them, I say, I bet you any money if someone gave these guys just a chance and gave them a job. Now I ain't talking about no, $70,000, $80,000 a year. Just kind of gave them a kick in the behind and gave them a job with a livable wage. Gave them a chance. You wouldn't see it, but news is heartbreaking. You drive through downtown Houston. For every white homeless person you see, you're gonna count 10 healthy bodied black people out there that just, man, it's like they caught in the Matrix, man.
Yeah, and that's an issue, man, all throughout the nation that you see. You seeing all it, it's like I'm driving, and you seeing like people just with damn buggies and stuff, and just I mean, I can't. I mean, I've never seen this many homeless people in my life, man. I don't. Growing up, you would see homeless people, but it is a epidemic of it now. And I'm saying, I know you're saying that you're seeing like 10 blacks for every one white. Here in Florida, here in Tallahassee, I'm seeing an equal amount. Maybe I might even be seeing slightly more white people. I guess it just depends on what area you at and what city or whatever. But I'm seeing a mess load of white folk. I'm seeing a bunch of. I don't never remember seeing that many damn women out there homeless like I'm seeing now either. Like you always saw more men that were homeless. Now I'm seeing a bunch of women out there. I see homeless people out there, man. Got damn dogs and stuff with them. So it's like they got their families, and it's something else. Ray, you got it.
No, I was going to ask a very simple question. How can the Democrats run on environmental racism, excuse me, when had not having clean water is literally environmental racism at the end of the time, isn't it? And you already know how passionate I am about the Second Amendment, man. Oh, family, please stop letting these people lie to you. Excuse me, I'm having that people. Please stop letting these people lie to you. Assault weapons have been essentially banned since May of 1986. That's damn near what 36 years. Not letting them lie to you. There's no, they've been banned. To get an actual assault weapon, you gonna come out and need 10, 20, maybe $30,000. And then it's gotta be registered. And there's a whole process. I can break that down. Stop making people lie to you because Biden understands that, and he's gonna try. He understands that not a lot of people know that. It's easier to ban things when people aren't, when they don't have the knowledge. So please, family, don't let these people lie to us because after what was the country 246 years old, something like that. If we've had guns this long, and they gonna definitely try to ban it. And the only reason they gonna do it is because they trying to do some shit that they don't want to get shot for. And I'm just gonna be honest.
Yeah, and another issue that they're pushing right now is the healthcare because you got the Affordable Health Care Act or whatever. So Democrats definitely look at themselves as a party that actually that pushes for healthcare, universal healthcare for everybody in the country and whatnot. So they consider that to be another winning strategy or whatever. The Obamacare, Affordable Care, whatever you want to call it, they consider that to be a Democratic policy and something that can connect with the actual working class, the middle class, and the poor people in this country right now. So that between those the climate control, healthcare, gun violence, and abortion, those are going to be the four issues that the Democrats are going to actually try to really push. The Republicans, they're going to push against the immigration. They're going to push against the actual inflation that is taking place in the actual country and whatnot, the actual economy dipping down and things of that nature right there. So they both have their strategies in terms of how they're going to try to connect with the actual the mass population. Go ahead, Ray.
I just wanted to say they better not bring up no dog on health care. The Democrats have been complaining about universal health care and all sorts of stuff for close to 7 years. They've been in power, I don't know how many times. They wanted to do something about it that they could have done. They got to stop it. How much, like I said, it's been how many decades now? They need to get off of that.
Absolutely, absolutely. I want y'all also to hear this. Now, everybody that's not familiar, of course, we know most everybody in the space know that Karen Bass is running for mayor of L.A., Democrat, of course. And Karen Bass has been accused of definitely neglecting the actual black voters and the black Americans out there in California, not giving them the same kind of treatment and the same kind of response time that she has done for the actual Hispanics and Asians and every other group out there. Like I said, I want to play this video just so everybody can actually listen to this and hear this. DJ, how's your connection right now?
Yeah, everything good. Give me 2 more seconds. 2 more seconds.
Go ahead. And then when you started on the 928 at 928 of that actual video. But yeah, and of course Karen Bass, everybody's saying that a couple months ago they were saying that Karen Bass basically lost. It was going to be because of the black men out there in California. Like we are always a scapegoat every time. Like the Democratic Party can't pull it out, or if it's looking like the forecast that they're going to lose, it's always the black man's fault. People even trying to blame Ice Cube out there at one time. Oh, if Ice Cube, they won't blame support behind Karen Bass. And if they just did that, and they go ahead and win this and that. Like, look, it's not. I mean, hey, how are people supposed to respond when people? You see interviews, people try to talk to Maxine Waters and Jim Clyburn and Karen Bass and these people, this and that. And when you start bringing up certain specifics, they turn white as Casper. Like they so pale and whatnot. They don't want you to even speak about certain things. People get upset and they get teed off. They don't want you as a black person to say anything. And anytime they lose, you never hear like if the Democrats lose or whatever, you never hear them say, well, black people as a whole didn't come out. It's always black men. And you'll never hear them say, well, black women didn't come out and support the way they were supposed to support us. It's always black men. And so we're gonna always be that scapegoat no matter what. When they win, you never hear them say, thank you, black men, for coming out in record numbers. You guys really got us over that hump. It's always when we lose, it's your fault, black men. It's all on you. Go ahead, Black Pressure.
Hey, news on that note, like you say, it's always black man. I'm gonna quote the late great Pimp C. You know what? God damn it, it is our fault. You ain't never did shit for us no way. So guess what? You welcome. And I'll lay on my plane.
Play on, play on, Pimp.
You got it right.
Now I was just gonna ask. Well, maybe I might have missed it. Someone might have said it, but one issue that I haven't heard is about all these illegal immigrants. Did anyone bring that up? Because I don't know how true it is, which obviously sounds like some bullshit. But I've heard that the immigrants that were flown to Martha's Vineyard filed a class action lawsuit against Ron DeSantis. I'm trying to figure out how the fuck that could be. Excuse me. I'm trying to figure out how that could be possible if they're not even citizens. How can they be filing lawsuits?
They are talking about trying to file a suit against him. And I'm not sure if it's the migrants himself or the immigrants, but I believe they are trying to say that he lied about luring them basically into the plane or the bus or whatever. That he basically told them lies about that they were going to get government help and money and this and that or whatever. He lied to get them actually on there. So I'm not sure that, like you say, how can you sue somebody when hell you don't even have any rights in the country? So they're the ones that's not going to be suing. We all know it's going to be whoever's trying to take that case forward and whatnot. They're going to be the ones that's actually going to claim this little lawsuit and try to push it forward. But they're trying to say that DeSantis sit up there and he told he told the people a bunch of lies about getting them help and giving them money and giving them government assistance or this and that, just so he could basically lure them on the actual I don't know if it was the plane or the bus or whatever, lure them up there and go ahead and have them dropped off. So it was basically another lie that they're trying to say that he went ahead and he told.
I was definitely gonna say too, man. Something that's definitely made Democrats look bad. The fact is how they pushing for all these immigrants to come here. Oh, come here, come here. This is a safe haven. The Republicans said, fuck it, you can have all of them. We're gonna send them there. And they sent their ass there for them. All of a sudden, I want to cry for them, but they ain't got enough resources to take care of people and all that other stuff. And the people that they could, like you were saying, they put in hotels that cost $700 a night. Something crazy.
Absolutely. Hey, DJ, you got your hand up.
Yeah, let me know when y'all ready for the video.
Yeah, go ahead and play it.
For sure. Hey, I'm gonna go back like actually 1 minute because he actually remember he was talking about Maxine Waters in this video. So about how she told them homeless people to go home, but it ties in with the Karen Bass thing. So it's only about a minute behind the actual 9 minutes 30 seconds mark or whatever. So I'm at 8:30 on this one. So this one's right here by the boy TD Hip Hop. It's called Karen Bass Calls Black Americans Miserable and Refuses to Address Them in Her LA Los Angeles mayoral race. So let's listen to that. Shout out to the bro TD Hip Hop.
Look at how dismissive she is of Black Americans, the people that she's supposed to be representing. Completely dismisses them and tell them, I don't want to hear you anymore. This was the same exact thing that Jim Clyburn was telling that young man who approached him very respectfully about reparations. Wouldn't even let him finish the sentence. He immediately became very hostile and condescending towards this man. This is the norm for Congressional Black Caucus members. This is how Black politicians consistently respond and react to Black Americans whenever they attempt to hold them accountable. And like I always say, the reason for that is because they know that no matter how much they disrespect you for reasons that I cannot understand, we are still going to vote for them anyways. Now let's move on to Karen Bass. Now, Karen Bass is running for mayor of Los Angeles, right? Now, recently, Karen Bass got into an exchange on Instagram with Slauson Girl. Slauson Girl runs a very good Twitter account as well as Instagram account called The Voice of Black Los Angeles. Slauson Girl is an independent journalist who works very hard here in LA to bring the best quality news as it pertains to news that's relevant to Black Los Angeles. Now, under her Instagram account, The Voice of Black Los Angeles, this was the exchange that took place between her and Karen Bass when she had the audacity to hold Karen Bass accountable in the midst of her run for mayor. Karen Bass' post reads, "We are 45 days away from ballots dropping in mailboxes and 73 days away from Election Day. We need all the help we can get. Pitch in today to make sure we make history in Los Angeles. Join Team Bass, KarenBass.com, link in bio." Now, Slauson Girl, under her Black Voices Instagram account, commented under this post saying, "Black politicians still won't speak to issues concerning the most vulnerable Blacks in this city." Karen Bass responds by saying this, "Black Voices, it's clear you're miserable. Thank God for Black women like Congresswoman Bass." Now, mind you, because I do have to say this to be fair, Karen Bass does not run her social media page. But that is irrelevant because whatever comes out on your social media page is a representation of you, what you think, and how you feel. The only reason Karen Bass's social media manager felt comfortable enough to respond to Black Voices in that way, saying that she's miserable, and understand, when she's telling Black Voices it's clear you're miserable, she's talking about Black Los Angeles, because in this post, Black Voices is representing the Black community as a whole, as she addresses Karen Bass saying, "Why have you not addressed our needs here?" And the response from Karen Bass is, "You're miserable." That's her telling all Black Los Angeles, you're all miserable. Just shut up and go vote for me, okay? Now, once again, so I don't get lost in thought, whatever is said by Karen Bass's social media manager are exactly the thoughts of Karen Bass. So she made no mistake here when she made this post in response to Black Voices of LA by calling her miserable for having the audacity to hold Karen Bass accountable. Now, Black Voices responded, "Karen Bass LA, oh, that's your response to Black constituents' concerns? Who is running this account? Miserable, probably because I feel let down by Black politicians we elect. Who is running this account?" Every Black resident of Los Angeles should be outraged by this, because social media manager or not, this is Karen Bass who is telling you exactly what she thinks about you. And if you don't believe me, if you think maybe I'm just reaching, let's just take a moment to look at Karen Bass's Instagram account. When you come to her Instagram account, you don't see her address the Black community at all in any way, shape, form, or fashion. 90% of the posts on here are her addressing the Latino community in Los Angeles. That's 90% of the posts that you see here. And don't be fooled by this photo right here of her with a bunch of Black folks. That was a little Hollywood get together. Don't be fooled by that. This is not a representation of the actual Black community in Los Angeles. Now let's take a moment to go through a couple of posts here on her page. Last week, I met with the Encino Chamber and Valley business leaders about ways I'm going to make our city safer and more friendly for the business community. Read my plan about supporting our small businesses and bringing jobs to LA at KarenBass.com. So this is her addressing the white community in Encino, as you can see here very clearly. Let's move on to another post here. The power and beauty of our city lies in our diversity. I had a great time yesterday at the first annual Nikki celebration in Boyle Heights, honoring Japanese American culture and history in LA. Looking forward to many more in the future. Now let's go to another post over here. Here's a post of Karen Bass entertaining the Native American community. Okay, cool. Now let's move on over here. This is a post from Karen Bass entertaining the Hispanic community. Once again, 90% of the posts on her Instagram page is her entertaining the Latino community here in Los Angeles. Now, this post right here is very interesting because this post right here came a week after Karen Bass responded to Black Voice of LA saying that she was miserable, meaning the Black community of Los Angeles is miserable for having the audacity to hold her accountable. This was her response to kind of cover up for what she said to Black Voices. Now, Black Voices was on top of this. As you can see, she's in the comment section here saying, after calling Black people miserable, Karen Bass posts exactly where her focus is. Not voting, hashtag not voting for Karen Bass. Now, let me read this off because this is wildly disrespectful. What an amazing day celebrating the power and unity of Los Angeles' diverse Latino and Caribbean communities with Latinos, Convas, and more than 250 supporters. Understand, this was another one of her many Latino events that she's holding to gain the Latino vote. And in an attempt to save face, as opposed to addressing the Black community directly, she used the Caribbean community in Los Angeles as a proxy for Black Americans in Los Angeles. I'm going to say that one more time. She is using the Caribbean community in Los Angeles as a proxy for Black Americans in Los Angeles. She refuses to deal directly with Black Americans. She won't do it. And instead, she opted to invite a bunch of Caribbeans over to a Latino event that she was holding in order to make it seem like, hey, look, I'm addressing the Black community too. But she's not. She's speaking to Caribbeans. Now, here are more posts from Karen Bass addressing the white community here in Los Angeles. And you'll see that in photos like this, you'll have one Black person here or one or two Black people there somewhere in the background of these photos. But at no point do you ever see Karen Bass holding an event directly addressing Black Americans in Los Angeles? This post reads, "Thank you, Echo Park. Can't wait to be your mayor so we can get big things done for this city together." And here's another post right here in a predominantly white neighborhood of Los Feliz. And this post goes, "Still fired up, still ready to go. Thank you, Los Feliz." The reason that I'm highlighting these two cities is that for those of you who aren't familiar with Los Angeles, Echo Park and Los Feliz are upper middle class, upper class neighborhoods here in Los Angeles, okay? Now, I want to give those of you who don't live out here just a little context of how upper class these neighborhoods are. So let me pull this up for you very quickly. The Los Feliz, Los Angeles, California housing market is somewhat competitive, scoring 67 out of 100. The average Los Feliz house price was $1.75 million. Okay, now let's see how expensive it is to live in Echo Park. Echo Park housing market in July of 2022, the median listing home price in Echo Park was $1.3 million, trending up 13.7% year over year. Karen Bass is literally addressing every group in the city of Los Angeles, no matter their class status or their ethnicity, as long as they're not Black Americans. As long they're not literally addressing Echo Park was $1.3 million, trending up 13.7% year over year. Karen Bass is literally addressing every group in the city of Los Angeles, no matter their class status or their ethnicity, as long as they're not Black Americans. Like I said, come to her Instagram page. And as of today is September 6th of 2022. Today is Tuesday, I believe. And I should be releasing this video tomorrow, which should be Wednesday, right? Start from the top of her page and just scroll down. Nowhere on here do you see her entertaining Black Americans at all. Once again, this photo right here, let me make sure to read this post to you so you see. Thank you to AAFCA TV Honors and President Gil Robertson for recognizing our country's growing diversity in storytelling, okay? This is some Hollywood nonsense. This is some Black elite bourgeois foolishness. She is not addressing nor talking to the Black community at all. But let's keep scrolling. Right? Let's just keep going. We see her with Hillary Clinton. And once again, I know I've said this a bunch of times already, but 90% of all the posts that she has here, she's speaking directly and solely to Latinos. Okay? That's who she's addressing. That's who she's speaking to. She can care less about the Black community. The closest thing that you got to her addressing the Black community was a post that I'm going to get to very soon. You see, I have to scroll a lot just to get down to the one, courtesy post that she put for Black Americans. This was a courtesy post right here. Okay. Esselwan Books announcing that they will close at the end of the year hits us hard. Today, I brought more than 50 community members to show support for one of the premier Black-owned bookstores in Los Angeles. Thank you for your decades of service to our neighborhood. If Karen Bass, along with Maxine Waters and the other Black politicians that represents California, actually did their job as it pertains to properly addressing the needs of the Black community in Los Angeles, then Esselwan Bookstore would never have to close down to begin with. But instead, she stops by for a photo op as this bookstore is now closing down. And apparently, that's more than enough to get Black Americans to show up and vote for Karen Bass to become mayor of Los Angeles. The disrespect is beyond unbelievable. But you can continue to expect this kind of disrespect so long as we Black people in America continue to support these politicians, rewarding them with our votes and putting them into office just so they can turn around and disrespect us. These people talk to you like dogs, and they do that because they know that no matter what they say, no matter how much they disrespect you, you're going to vote for them anyways. The only outcome that should come out from this here with Karen Bass is that she should lose. That's the only outcome that should happen. The Black citizens of Los Angeles should come out en masse and intentionally vote for the opposition out of spite, just to send a message that you cannot get away with consistently disrespecting Black Americans and disregarding their needs and thinking that you're just going to get into office anyways. Now, whether or not that will happen is yet to be seen. History says we'll vote for her anyways, but I really and truly hope that I am wrong. And with all that being said, that does it for today's video. So please make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you'll be notified whenever I release a new video. All social media links will be pinned in the comment section below. Please make sure you text TD Hip Hop to number 33222. That's TD Hip Hop to number 33222. That way you'll get a direct text notification whenever I release a new video, but it also serves as a protection plan for myself. In case YouTube ever gives this channel the axe, I'll be able to send you a direct link to where you can find me next. Last but not least, for those of you who have a love and appreciation for the work that I put in on this channel, the number one way you can show your support is through Patreon. For only $3 a month, that will help put me in position to take TD Hip Hop Media off of YouTube. Remember, the goal is not to grow big on YouTube, but to grow independent of YouTube. And for those who have issues with joining Patreon, you can also hit the join button that's next to the subscribe button, and that way you can become an official channel.
And you can hit it.
Little as $3 a month as well. And lastly, if you have done already, please make sure you join the emailing list. There is no way that I can go independent of YouTube if I cannot take the audience with me. And the link to that will be pinned in the comment section as well. Thank you for your time, and until the next video, peace.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, he was spitting so many facts that we're gonna get the Queen Bee and we're gonna get the Black Pressure, but what can you really dispute about what the brother just said? And y'all make sure y'all go ahead and follow TD Hip Hop on YouTube as well too, and also make sure that we have the Newstoter YouTube link up in the actual jumbotron. We're gonna keep the jumbotron clean so everybody can actually see. So tonight we're just gonna keep those 4 little links in there. That's to the actual YouTube channel. It's also to the Newstoter newsletter. And also to the if you guys want to support on Cash App, it's $Newstoter. That's also in the jumbotron, as well as the other links to the PayPal and Venmo. So you guys go ahead, Queen Bee, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, Queen, before you go ahead and speak, just to add context to the video too, there was a comment on Karen Bass' Instagram where the Esowon Books, and that's spelled ESOWON, Esowon Books out in Los Angeles. And one of the commenters said, well, what are you doing to help keep the bookstore open? So it's like, but you'll be here to help it see it on its way, though, after it's been in the community probably for like 50 years. But go ahead, Queen B.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Thanks for giving me the mic, Newstoter, Ray, and the other host. How do you pronounce your
That's
new
DJ.
handle?
That's DJ.
Yeah, okay. DJ. Okay, so anyway, I came in, I think, midway, but I really didn't need to hear too much to know that this woman is not for Black people. I just think that we are fooling ourselves to think that anybody who belongs to the CPC or any of these politicians that have been hand-selected and hand-picked, supported by the DNC, are for us. We need to just stop expecting that, and I hate to say it that way, but I don't know what else to say. Karen Bass, as well as Maxine, what's her name?
Waters.
Maxine Waters. Their districts are becoming more and more, well, I'm not sure about Karen's anymore, but I know Maxine's, her district is becoming more and more Hispanic. And what did Joe Biden tell us last year? That we need to start working with the Hispanics. This whole, this is a concerted effort to flood this country, invade this country with all of these people coming from Central America and Mexico to get them in here and replace us. They are a part of it. Those people, those politicians in California are a part of it. So I am not the least surprised to hear what TD Hip Hop Media had to say, as well as just I'm from California, and I've seen this thing happening for decades, and it's just getting worse and worse. But we just need to stop expecting these people to be working on our behalf. And wasn't Karen Bass, wasn't she supposed to be working to help get the George Floyd bill passed? Wasn't she supposed to be one of the people working on it? I haven't heard anything about that bill in a long time.
On that note, I think all these Black, what's the word I'm looking for? Symbolism bills is nothing but a nothing burger, sister. Just a little stuff to keep it quiet.
But we know that they're not, even just from that little, they're giving us all of the signs. I mean, red flags are going up all over the place that they are not interested, nor are they going to do anything for us. So I'm of the mindset, like Brother Marcel says, if we want something done, we have to put ourselves out there and we have to run to be what we want. Because I just don't believe these people want to do anything for us. Now, I thought I saw that pastor come into the room. Is he in the room? Because I'd be interested in hearing what he has to say. I think he's running in the state of California, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, I'll land.
Yeah, we did have a pastor in here. You know, it's quite a few that be in these spaces. I'm not sure which one it was, but it was a pastor in here, but I don't see him now. So hopefully he'll come back. But before you go, Queen B, I just want to ask you, what do you think about the midterms? Because right now, the talk is that the actual Democrats are picking up momentum and they're picking up more steam and stuff, and that the Republicans may not have such a big victory as they expected a couple months ago. So do you have any opinion on that you might mind sharing?
Sure. I just think we will not know until the night of. I'm of that mindset. Sometimes we get these surprises. Sometimes the polling is off, and I know sometimes it depends on how they're polling, who they're asking. So and the thing about it too, the mainstream media tends to be very one-sided. Now it depends on if you're getting most of your information from what our major outlets, with the exception of Fox, they're going to keep talking the Democrats up and talking about, they can still pull this off and all of that. And then if you go to Fox News, they'll say, "Oh, the Republicans, they have a shot at it." So I mean, I just don't think we're going to know until the night of. Now, I did see a poll today that I thought was a little interesting, where what Herschel Walker is up in Georgia, and then I also saw where what's the other one? What's the woman, the one that we're not supposed to vote for, even though I'm not Georgia, but the one. Yeah, I saw where what Kemp was like way like 10 points ahead of her. He was like at 50 something, and she was like at 40 or something. So when I see like a widespread lead like that, that tells me that there's probably some hope for the person who's way ahead. But when it starts to get real close, or within, they say that margin of error, like 2-3 points, I just say we don't know until till the evening of, or excuse me, after the election is finished and they've counted all the votes. And I think with this election this year, I think, if they're close elections, they're depending on the states, some of those people, they're not going to concede. They're going to contest it. They're going to do what, re-elect, where they have to go out and vote again. I mean, yeah, I just think that, yeah. Anyway, I've rambled enough, but thanks, Newstoter, DJ Ray, for allowing me to speak.
No problem. And I want everybody. We're gonna kick it to you, Black Pressure. But I want everybody to look in the jumbotron because it's supposed to be a picture of Karen and her husband back in the day. Because this looked like a damn 70s or early 80s picture. But do y'all know if he's Because we believe that he's Hispanic. So just take a look in the jumbotron, far left hand side. And I know DC just said that the surname was actually gave the surname. So that is definitely a Spanish name. So this is her actual husband up in the jumbotron, in case you guys can see, and you guys up in the space or whatnot. So, maybe.
I'm sorry. I think he's either Cuban or Puerto Rican or something. I thought you held a space about that. I don't know. I heard that before.
No,
yeah, he mixed, bro. He got big ass ears, pointy nose, but the butt dimple in the chin. Black people don't have that shit. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. Hey, that's why I be talking about what's the word I'm looking for? Like phenotypes and stuff like that. It ain't all about skin color. You know what I'm saying? And like bone structure. It's a word for it, though. I can't think of it. Go ahead.
Wait. Now, black people do have clefts in the chin. I got some family members that got not a whole lot, but I got some that do have a cleft. So, and we straight
not a cleft in the lip, but the butt, little dimple in the chin. Most black people don't have that, yo.
It's a cleft though, isn't it?
No. A cleft is in the lip. A cleft is in the lip because I studied.
No. People have a cleft in the chin as well. You got a
That's
cleft
called
in
the
the chin.
cleft too.
Like,
Yeah, you have
like a little butt.
like Michael Jackson. Remember, he put the cleft in his chin. Like, yeah, you got black people that have a cleft in their chin.
That one, no, because I never heard that one before. No,
yeah.
Word up. That's what's up, though.
The black person. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Say mine is really short news. That video that DJ played, that brother summed up the black political IQ, not just in California, but in America. They're going to vote for it anyway, and I'll land my plane there.
No doubt. Original, go ahead and unmute your mic real quick.
Yeah, that's.
You really low, and your connection like it's mumbled.
Yeah, you went right into the matrix. Original, you right in the matrix automatic.
What are you hear me now?
Yeah, you scramble, bro. You scramble. Come back down and come back up. All right.
Yeah, and TD, he said it, but he said that he doesn't think it's gonna change. And guess what? I'm in agreement with him. I guarantee you that those black voters in LA gonna go right back out and they gonna vote for Karen Bass. And I wish we could actually show the video, like, because I mean, she was straight up violent. Hey, Karen didn't even make no secret about it. She simply just playing it up to all of the other groups and whatnot, and then sitting up here and that's an issue that we have with some of our people out there in California, because they're not such a small minority that they've just been totally overlooked by the people that's supposed to represent them. And people say, well, black people are so small out here that we just can't go ahead and we can't do this. It's crazy. It's funny to me that whenever black people make up a tiny majority or a tiny minority in a section or whatever, you can't do anything for them at all. You can't do nothing. Now, when you have other groups that make up such a small fraction, such a minute population, people still bend over backwards for them. You never hear them say, well, that population is too small. We can't worry about it. They would never say that to Asians out there, period. They only say this kind of stuff to black people. They would never say that to the LGBTQ or any other group. When it comes to black people, no matter what, even when you're the largest minority, your number's still not big enough to do anything. And then when you're too small, like all the other groups that's too small, like the Afghans and some of these other people that get all kind of resources that come over here as migrants and stuff like that, people never say, well, y'all numbers are so small that we can't do anything for you. You would never heard Joe Biden tell the Asians that, hey, y'all are only like the third or fourth largest minority in this country. Go talk to Hispanics and see what they can do for you. You never would have said anything like that. That's only reserved for one group of people that you have hatred in your heart for, and that's for black people. Original, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, but see, the issue I want to make is this is just black politics across the country. If you look at any black person running for, just like you have Big Swole and and Raphael running for governor and senator here in Georgia. And I'm sure that a number of you saw that video where this illegal alien questioned Raphael about immigration, and he gave her a direct response. And his last question in that video was a brother asking him about reparations, and his dumbass started talking about expanding Medicaid and all this other stuff. And then when he finished, he said, "And that's a solution." And I'm like, there ain't no way in the world I would vote for his dumb ass. I mean, that's just what they're doing across this country. Because when Raphael ran the first time, he ran on saying that he was a senior preacher at the church where Dr. King preached. And I'm like, okay, what does that have to do with anything? My point is, what you gonna do for black folks? And I can proudly say I didn't vote for it. Not at all. I didn't give them a vote. I left them where they were. And Big Swole and he ran in 2017. I think Big Swole ran in 2018.
but like they say, they think we're going to vote for them. But somebody earlier mentioned Ice Cube. Y'all remember when they was attacking Ice Cube? Well, let me tell you what I did. I went on Ice Cube Facebook page. I started out saying, brother, I don't know you, but I support you. And then I started dogging out the Democrats, and I used Jamie Harrison, who was running for U.S. Senate in South Carolina. I used Cori Bush. She was running for congressperson in St. Louis, Missouri. I used Raphael, and I used John Ossoff. And I, because they was trashing Ice Cube so badly, I said, and these are the Democrats that are, if you look at I put all their platforms out, if you look at their platform, not one of them have anything to do with black people. They don't have black folks on their platform. And then I don't know if that did anything or was something else, but some of that negativity started to subside against Ice Cube. So they're up here trashing the man, and he's up here trying to speak up for black folks. They won't do it because he said, this is not about minorities. This ain't about people of color. This is about black folks. And that's when all them fools got mad. I tell you, it's amazing. And as far as Maxine Water, I think I mentioned this before. You all remember when the CIA got caught uh, dumping the drugs in LA? Well, they had a meeting, and I'm trying to find. I think it was on C-SPAN. You might. I pulled it up before. You put in a CIA drug scandal Los Angeles meeting. It should come up on C-SPAN. But anyway, uh, Maxine came out initially as if she was so pro for us. And what she did with her trifling ass, as soon as she got the chance, see, that was when that Bill Clinton sex scandal was out, and all those dumbass CBC members was out there on the White House lawns showing their support for their enslavement. And as soon as she got the chance, she dumped us, didn't care about getting any justice for us, said that she had to go save Bill. And I'm like, damn, don't we count for something? And remember, like I said, this is just black people in politics, period. Uh, and I mentioned this before. What's the guy named Mark Ridley Thomas? How he wouldn't, he was a county supervisor who is under indictment for stealing money with a professor at USC, and his son abruptly resigned. He had an assembly seat in the state assembly. He abruptly resigned, stating that he had medical issues. No, I hope your butt go to jail with your daddy. That's just anybody can say that's cool. I don't care. But yeah, he wouldn't help this group of people in South LA. They, this white guy named Zev Yuroslavsky, who although his vote represents the entire county, but he represented another district. He ended up assisting black people with what they needed. And this is a damn shame because this is they as people say, they think we're gonna vote for them. And and let me share this with you, see some, and then I'm going to land. I had a friend of mine. I was talking with them, and they were uh, we were on the phone, and so this person named Myra from Black Voters Matter, which is all that is a get out the vote thing. That they're getting paid to try to get black folks to vote. So here's what she said. She said, "Hi, I'm Myra with Black Voters Matter. Registering to vote is a part of building power in Atlanta. Will you make sure you are registered?" And so they told me what to think. I said, listen, I want you to do this. I said, send her a vote, send her a response back by saying, I said, say go like, Myra, thanks for contacting me regarding the upcoming election. Then it goes, of all the black candidates running for public office in the state of Georgia, tell me if any of them support lineage-based reparation for the descendants of the black enslaved in America. And so about a day or so later, this is what Myra sent back. No worries. Thanks for your time. See, people, this is nationwide. wide. And we have got to get a hold of this. If I'm not voting for these Democrats, I don't give a damn what they say. I'm not voting for them. But to respond to somebody like that, you want this person to vote for your candidate. And the best you can say is no worries. This is a damn shame. And I'll land with that.
Originally, before you leave, I gotta ask you this question real quick, because also we was talking about the Democrats' chance of winning the midterms. Do you think that with the abortion issue and the talk about the gun violence and health care and climate control and stuff like that, do you think that's going to be enough of a push for the Democrats come midterms to go ahead and to keep a number of those seats that people think that they're going to lose?
I don't know. It depends because I'm hearing some tricky information. I heard one report the other day that was stating that some of the Trump followers they were having second thoughts or something like that when they see all this stuff that's coming out about him. But when I look at these polls, because these polls keep flipping back and forth. So when I look at these polls, I'm like, I think the white racists on the Republican side, they're geared up to vote. So it's going to be extremely close. If they pull it off, it'll be a miracle. But all I can say is I'm going to have to. I'm not going to wait up and see what's all going. I'm going to bed that night more than likely. Or if you're on, I'll be listening to you. But but it's kind of close to say. I don't know because I know they got wired up when, and I do believe that it was a Democratic operative who dropped that Supreme Court decision about abortion to get them riled up even early. So it just depends. They may come out strong, and as well as you may have some Republican women may vote regarding that abortion thing as well. So I don't know. It's going to be really close. I really can't call it at this time.
Appreciate you, brother. I just wanted to get your insight on how you felt about it. So I definitely appreciate it because I know you always you definitely have a lot of thoughts that you always share with the space. So definitely always stick around too because whenever you want to come back up here and speak, all you gotta do is raise your hand. So we're gonna kick it to Mr. Engaging. Before we kick it to Mr. Engaging, do any of the co-hosts have anything that you guys want to add in?
Hey, Ray, you want to say something real quick? Hey, if we agree to agree, and then yeah, Karen Bass, she's just like a POS, man. You know what I'm saying? And I know we only listening to the the audio of it. We need to definitely get this visual together, Tyler, because when you look at the visual and listen to it, we enraged just by listening to it. But when you see the actual visual, when you go to her Instagram, go to Karen Bass Instagram. She ain't got none of us up here, but you got, you know what I mean? Also on books, they closing their store after X amount of years. Black owned, been in LA forever. You showed up to that shit though. You know what I'm saying? Maxine Waters, you heard TD Hip Hop in the beginning. He going off in that one extra minute earlier. He talking about Maxine Waters. Y'all remember that she told them homeless folks in LA to go home. The lady said we ain't got no home, and she laughed at them. This is some real shit, and our people be still turning around and voting for these people. This shit don't make no sense, man. But go ahead, Mr. Gage.
Hey, real quick, DJ, you called me.
Yeah, I just because we was just going around the room, and I was before I kicked it to Mr. Engage, and I wanted to see if you wanted to add anything after that video that we played. If you had something that you wanted to add to it or whatnot. If not, we can come back to you, Ray.
Yeah, man, let the roll flow, bro. I'm good. I'm just kick it back.
Okay, no problem. Mr. Engaging, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, what's up, family? Great conversation. I'm glad we put these individuals on notice about their behavior. Besides Karen Bass that needs to get tacked to the wall, we got Stacey Abrams. She needs to get tacked to that wall. And a couple other them ones that's running because they're not talking about anything that deals with Black American interests. I just can't see how they're allowed to slide for this long. Like, it's actually kind of absurd to me. And for them not wanting to do anything, Like when you look at the other groups, like the Asian community, Jewish community, and all these other little small communities, they get their interests met. So when they say that Black American people as a collective is too small, I'm calling cap bullshit. Excuse my language. That's some cap. Major, major cap. And and I think that's just a bald faced lie. They just don't want to do anything for Black American folks. Um, just more of a reason why we need to really make it our opportunity to get these people out the paint and make sure that they never run in office again, and put people that are more to what here to what we our needs are and our interests are. So I just want to leave it like that because that's appalling that she could say those things. And also, Stacey Abrams, for the record, said that she is not for names-based reparations. There is a video out there.
Appreciate that, Mr. Engage. And like DJ say, it really doesn't. The audio really doesn't do it any justice. You would actually have to see the actual video to actually know like what a kick in the cojones this was right here. Like Karen Bass, she just like, hey, she ain't Karen right here. So Karen Bass is almost like a Karen the way she's acting out there in LA. Just like I said, you actually, I wish we could actually show videos in the actual space so you could actually see exactly her little photo ops and just the way she's carrying on and cutting the food with all these other people and this and that, and basically don't have time for your own people. So this is not anything surprising. And like he says, I expect the black people in LA to go out and vote for her again because you know why? Because this has been a 60 some year cycle. So no matter how much, I mean, whenever you can get you get somebody like Joe Biden tell you that you're not black unless you vote for him, and then you still go out and big numbers and you vote for him. The people already know that they got you whooped like a slave here. They already know that you whooped. They know that you're not going to do anything. They know that you're going to continue to go out there and support them. So whenever you got these people that sit up here and they pretty much insult us like got free reign to just insult us and disrespect us and try us. And they know what they say. Well, hey, come midterms, come the presidential election, they're gonna come right back out here and they're gonna vote for us again because they actually believe this nonsense, the lesser of two evils. They actually believe this. And Karen is doing everything. She's up here. She's up here with the Hispanics. She's up here with the white people. She's up here with Caribbeans. She's up here with Caribbeans, but she can't be up here with black people, with black Americans. So to sit up here and just totally ignore us like that, you know, once you see it, let's not forget Karen Bass was also one of she was also one of Obama's girls. I believe he used to send on errands over there to Africa and whatnot. I know she's supposed to be trying to do some work for Ethiopia and Eritrea. So she's pretty much just one of those people like that. So nothing I hear about Karen Bass and more black people surprises me in the least bit. So let me go ahead and get it to It's all about Yahweh. Go ahead and unmute your mic, and then we're gonna get to you, Queen Bee. But before we get to you, it's all about Yahweh. Please go ahead and support Newstoter on Cash App. That is $Newstoter. That is $Newstoter. Support the largest black-owned curation news platform today in America. Go ahead. It's all about Yahweh. And actually, it's all about Yahweh. Let me know about this actual video that we do this on tonight.
Hi, good evening, News Total, and thank you for allowing me to speak. And just want to say a shout out to the host and the co-host. You know, News Total knows that I always big up the speakers in the panel. I think that he has some of the most brilliant people coming on here. So I just like to listen, as I always say. But I just wanted to come in because, when I first heard, how she described Black Americans as miserable, I took offense to that because there's nothing miserable about us fighting for what is right for us and what we earn through the course of the years. And this administration has shown that they will give aid and assistance to everyone else and come and disrespect us and then say, hey, I need your vote, black woman. I need your vote, black man. And I just hope that, we can get to a consensus. And this is not a generality. Many of us, that's why I come to News Total Spaces. are on point. We awake, alert, oriented. We know what is going on. But for the rest of the people who feel like they have to just vote Democrat, I just hope that they begin to realize and value themselves to say, there's other things. For me personally, I'm unaffiliated. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I don't personally believe that this government is for its citizens. That's just my opinion. So I'm unaffiliated. I just look at the candidate, see what they running for, and if I want to vote for them, fine. If I don't do it because I feel collectively both parties have been against the Black Americans and what we have stand for, and it's just disrespectful, But I just really hope that we begin to start moving more into a consensus where we should, vote for our tangibles. And so that's all I wanted to add. Thank you for allowing me to speak, and I'll move back down to listener. Thank you.
Thank you, sis. It's always good to see you in this space. I know most of the time you just really the past couple of days you really just started actually speaking, but you definitely always support the platform. So it's definitely good to hear you come in here and speak, and definitely look forward to hearing you more in the spaces. Whenever you want to speak, just go ahead and request the mic, and we'll go ahead and we'll kick it to you. Queen B, and then Mr. Engaging. So Queen B, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Thank you for allowing me the stage again. So I was thinking about something after you had asked me the question about the midterm. I was thinking about, the Democrats are really going to be relying on Trump to be the biggest issue, and Trump and the abortions to be the biggest issue to motivate their base, and and possibly suppress, the Republicans who would maybe had been wanting to support the Republicans, but if they're supporting Trump, they might not want to. But then I think the other thing, that usually happens, they call it that October surprise, which is pretty true, So I'm curious about, what that's going to be this election cycle, and if it's going to have a heavy impact, on the electorate this year. I'll land.
Okay, no problem, sister. Definitely glad to have you back. Come back up and just go ahead. If you want to speak again, go ahead and raise your hand to get on the mic. American, go ahead and unmute your mic. Then we're gonna get to you, Mr. Engager.
Thank you for allowing me to speak. Every time I come in here, you grant me the floor. Hi to the co-host, both, and also the room. Um, Karen Bass, I found out about her maybe about a month ago. Everything that's up here in the Jumbotron, I already knew. She's not fooling with us. I don't even think she is one of us. Um, I think that also it's over for the Democrats. I think they know this. It's bad. And we handed them two blows. We handed them the first blow was not really getting Joe Crow Biden elected. The second blow is what we're doing on the aftermath, what we're doing now, how we're in these spaces, and how we're checking all the Democrat shields. And they can't just come to us like they used to with a bag of weed and a box of chicken. They're not going to be able to do that any longer. Or coming out of church screaming Jesus and Jesus. Jesus said, man, I ain't told him to come up in here. I don't even know why y'all let him in there, to be honest. For those who go to church. I don't, but hey, it is what it is. Midterms is over. They're mad, and that's why they have always treated us as such. And especially after this doggone election. Everybody understands, and I think we know now that shit was stolen. Sorry to cuss. They hate us for that. We didn't deliver. They propped up black women and black women this and black women that. We didn't give them that house, y'all. They stole it. Everybody knows that. And we're showing out. We are showing out. That's why you see all the disrespect with the movies and our organizations and everything else. It's over for them. and I think that I said that 20,000 times, and I'm going to say it 20,000 more times. Let they asses crash and burn. Matter of fact, no, excuse me, no. We're going to leave them in that house that Martin said he led us into. And he said, hey, y'all get up out of here. Y'all got to go. I'm not going to make it. I said this before, and I'm not going to go into my whole analogy or song, but y'all got to get up out of here. Leave them in there and let that sucker burn on them. Let it fall on them. They don't like us, never have liked us. They don't want to even talk to you. They walk right past you. That lets you know a lot about how they feel about you. They keep talking about black men, now it's black men. First, she was all up in my face, trying to buy me a drink. Now you're over there in the black man's face trying to buy him a drink, saying it's because of you and I need you and I need you and I need you this. But you never told him not one thing you was going to do for him. Besides doing a bag of weed, which you're going to arrest him for later on, some strippers if you go to the pole. Let's see, chicken, crack pipes. Come on now. No. So I'm going to end on this. It's over for them. I'm glad. And I think that they deserve this fucking blow. We hit them so fucking hard. Sorry, we hit them so damn hard. Their other enemies started jumping in, which is the Latinos. They surprised as hell. People come over the border today saying, no, I'm good. I ain't voting for no Democrat. I already heard about you. I'm not voting for you. And they can't even vote. So with that being said, guys, I'm sorry to cuss because every now and then, well, not every now and then, a lot of times I slip up and cuss. I'm proud of foundational Black Americans. They said, shit, you ain't gonna get nothing anyway. Okay, well, we're gonna tear this bad boy up. We're gonna let the real be known. What it is that you don't want us to talk for real, because if we start to talk, we're gonna tell the truth. And we're gonna put you out there. And what is happening now is that the Latinos is going in on you. Every other group is going in on you. People want something. If they can't really get what they want no more, they putting you on Front Street too. And you disrespected us. You did my grandma in. You did my grandpa in. You did my parents in. And my grandparents in. Purposely. You knew these laws were specifically for me and never let me touch this bad boy. I'm seeing a African woman right now, filed suit talking about she was discriminated against. Excuse me. I'm looking at this stuff. Latinos coming over here that's not even citizens able to have jurisdiction. Where they do that at? Y'all disrespectful, hateful, and I want you to take them black ass shields with you. That's been leading us wrong for the last 60 damn years and was going to have us voting again. And the only reason why they want us to vote, and I promise I'm done, is because we're not their constituents. Talking about the Democrat. Everybody knows that. They understand that those black elites, quote unquote, are paid. They're paid to make us go this way. They're paid to push us in a certain way. It was never no real give and take really with us. For us to really sit down and tell them our agenda. If you notice, it was always them giving you your agenda. And I'll land there. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. I appreciate it. Like you said, whenever you come into space, I appreciate your intensity and your passion. So definitely, you're always welcome here. I definitely look forward to hearing you speak as well too. Mr. Engaging, go ahead and unmute your mic, brother.
Yeah, the thing that kind of concerns me a little bit is that these politicians are basically targeting a group of people because they don't like they're upset that we're not voting for them or we're not interested in their platform. Like, I never really see them alienating any other groups but black men and black women. And that's like, I'm kind of looking at like these civil rights organizations. Why are they not calling out these people? Why are they not saying that this is a form of almost like dog whistle? Just because you're black doesn't mean that you get a pass for being anti-black. And there needs to be some type of boundaries in how they talk to our people. Because this disrespect permeates through all facets of our life. So when you hear a politician, including a black one, I think we should be double times as hard of them because they know the consequences of their behavior. And if they don't, then they'll learn from the alienation and also from bringing back shame. We need to make shame cool again. Like if you out here shaming the public, like we need to be shaming them, and we need to make it hip. And because I don't want my nephew or any of my family members growing up being like these people here. And I'm trying to be very, very nice about this. It's diplomatic because it's very hard for me to put it in that context when they're trying to destroy the community that we come from, and it hurts. And they don't even see themselves a part of our community, and that's a major problem within itself. So I just want to leave it on that, and I want to say thank you, Newstoter and Ray, for bringing this space and bringing about these works about Miss Karen Bass and these Democrats.
No doubt, brother. And I appreciate you coming into the space as always, Mr. Engaging. So definitely appreciate that. I gotta say this much right here. I know everybody was saying like, "What?" I mean, there's nothing else more we can give to this party. I mean, we've given our blood, sweat, and tears to the Democratic Party. There is nothing else anymore we can give to these people. We've gone to this party, and we've been the most loyal voting bloc in the history of this country to this one party. This party here should have their damn lips permanently attached to our ass wherever we go at. They should be kissing our ass from here to the end of time, and they won't do it. They sit up here and you're talking about all these other groups and this and that. None of these other groups vote at the rate that black people vote for them. None of these other groups support them the way black people support them. And it's just it's not appreciated. It's not reciprocated. And we're sitting up here, and one of the main reasons why they walk over us too is because they're black flunkies that they done put up in office, like Karen Bass and the rest of them in the congressional caucus and whatnot. These people here are put up in these higher up places and this and that, and they know for a fact that we're going to come and vote no matter what. We have not punished these people. Forget the entire Democratic Party. We have to start letting these black politicians fail and lose. You can't continually in these districts continually go ahead and vote these people into office and then wondering why, nothing improves, nothing happens. You have to make an example out of your politicians. You got one thing that we kind of forgot when we're dealing with politics is that we don't work for the congressman or congresswoman. We don't work for the senator. We don't work for these people. These people are put in office to serve you and I. Yet we're constantly serving them and getting nothing in exchange. So it's time to go ahead. Don't take care of the Democratic Party in due time. First, you take care of the Karen Basses, and you take care of the Maxine Waters, and you take care of the Cory Bookers. You take care of these people right here. You send a message to the entire party by going ahead and dismantling their puppets by putting them in their place, putting the puppets back in the damn drawer where they belong at. You go ahead and you dismantle them, and you send a message to the entire party that hey, this is not going to be tolerated. But we refuse to do that. Just like Clyburn, you got people that's been in office 30 some odd years that can't point to any real tangible they've done for your people, and we still living through people vicariously through people. We're still about that. Oh well, yeah, this black person he has a big house, so we all have a big house, and we all made it, and all this just stuff that doesn't do us any good. We're still living vicariously through people. We're still sitting up here talking about the first black person this, the first black person that, when it's not benefiting us whatsoever. It's time to go ahead and clean house. It's time to go ahead and start putting some of these black people out. Karen Bass losing, you know, that's a good thing. But you need to have some of these long tenure black people in Congress lose their spots. You got to have some of these people that's been in their district for 10, 20, 30 years get beat. We go ahead and send a message. The power is with us as a people, but we're not using that power. We constantly look for reason. We have the power right within our grasp, and then we just close our eyes and we just freeze up. The power, we have the power. Karen Bass and them know this. Maxine Waters and them know this. Clyburn knows this. Clyburn's sitting up here every year doing a stinking fish fry, and people in that district act like, he's a second coming of Christ or something. Like, what in the hell is eating this raggedy fish gonna do for you? And then, like TD, he said on the video, because y'all didn't hear the whole video, he He showed Clyburn on there. He showed Maxine Waters. And I don't know if it was original or somebody also talked about Raphael Warnock when the brother asked him about when you ask them something they don't want to hear, they either ignore you or they start to get upset and start going off on. Now Clyburn was supposed to be this old man, a grandfather, probably a great grandfather, and he's sitting up there copping the attitude, talking about dropping f bombs and this and that. Like DJ say, Maxine, she up here, the homeless people, I mean, she chewing people out and this and that. Karen Bass she don't even acknowledge that you breathe, that you even exist. And you're gonna sit up here and you're gonna take your black self in that booth again, and you gonna vote for Democrat because your mama told you to, because your mama voted Democrat, and your grandma voted Democrat, and your auntie vote Democrat, and your uncle vote Democrat, and your brother vote Democrat. Listen, there's no problem with voting Democrat as long as these Democrats have your back, as long as they're gonna do something for you. Okay, if you got a Democrat that's actually sitting up here talking about, and we understand reparations. Reparations is one thing, but what else are these people going to talk about? I know some people will say, okay, reparations, but I want to hear about reparations, and I want to hear about other things that you're going to do for the black community as well. What are you going to do about closing that racial wealth gap? What are you going to do about my house that's the same size as the dude across town, got the exact same amenities in it and everything else, but his house, he can pull out equity. He can pull out $80,000 more in equity than I can. He can go ahead and start a business. We both had our houses at the same time. Our credit scores are the exact same, this and that. Yeah, he can go ahead. He can pull out $80,000 and he can go ahead and finance a business where I can only get 20 some $1,000s out barely. What are you going to do to end that? What are you going to do to help us with that? And like I said, we sit up here and we just giving these people a free ride like they're at Disney World. You got it, DJ.
You cooking, bro, for sure, man. Definitely no disagreeing there, man. And then at the end of the day, what it really falls down to us now that we got this information, like a whole say, what are the solutions? So from now on out, make sure y'all start doing your due diligence every day to make it your duty. It's your duty as a reparationist to go tell your peoples about what's going on. Yeah, many of us don't want to hear it. There's down in the world, but that's okay. As long as you can pull one person up a day, one person up a month, even if it take you all year just to get your one non-family member that's a reparationist. Hey, you did your job. Now that's one more soldier we got on the ground that's trying to go out there and combat the Karen Bastards, the Maxine Waters. Definitely get Jim Clyburn out of office. We got to do everything we can to try to get Marcel elected on the next go round. And yeah, we believe he got cheated as well as along with some other folks. But at the end of the day, again, now we know our problems. Let's talk about the solution, show. Now you.
These Negroes are gonna let Jim Clyburn die in office. They act like Jim Clyburn. I mean, they've made him into some kind of saint or something like that. They're gonna let him die in the office. They're not willing. We're not willing as a people to go ahead and seize power and seize opportunity and seize the moment. We sit back and we wait. We wait. We wait. We wait. We wait. When it's right there for us to seize it. Coming off of the George Floyd, uh, the whole incidents with George Floyd back in 2020 was our time again. That time was similar almost to like the 1960s and the civil rights. That was our time. And once again, white people found a way, with the help of our black flunkies, to go ahead and to quell us. Just take something so simple like the NBA. When they was getting ready to talk about LeBron and the players, was talking about, you know what, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do a boycott. We're gonna do a boycott. And guess who shows up out of nowhere? Barack Barry Hussein Obama. He gets up and he calls NBA players. No, don't do that. Don't do that. No, don't boycott. Don't boycott. No, just go play. Go play. I tell you, he should have went ahead. Now they've had all kind of boycotts and lockouts in sports. The NFL has had a lockout before. The NBA's had a lockout before. Major League Baseball's had a lockout before. Yet when it's a time, like I said, to seize power, here comes somebody who's been sitting, writing his memoirs, chilling, drinking his mocha or whatever, over there in San Francisco. All of a sudden, he comes out of the woodwork. They sit up here and tell the guy, "Oh, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this." Like I said, whenever it's time, because make no doubt about it, in 2020, the entire world, they took notice of what was going on over here, and it wasn't because we all went out and we voted Democrat or we voted Republican, it's because action was taken. And now, when it was time, like I said again, for us to go ahead and seize the moment, like it was during the Civil Rights Movement, when at that time, the Civil Rights Movement, when the people they came back with a little revised edition of what's going to be civil rights, and tell them, well, you know, guys, it's only fair that we add white women and minorities. She said, hell no, hell no, the entire nation could burn again. We're not adding anybody in there other than the descendants of slaves. Nobody's getting on this. I'm sorry for the people that's disabled. I'm sorry for the people that came over here later that chose to come here and immigrate to this country. I'm sorry for your daughters, your wives, and your white mothers. They're not coming. They're not part of this. So it was our time right then and there, just like 2020. And then, like I said, we pull out the big guns, we pull out the magpies, and we go ahead and we let them come up here and start smooth talking everything out, as always, to ruin things. Two times in history, in the past 60 years, black people had a chance to actually just seize the moment, and we sat there on our hands and just let history, and we're going to regret this right here doing that. You got it, Mr. Engagement.
I'm glad that you brought Obama up, and I was getting ready to say something. I put something in the comments, just saying that did Obama teach the disrespect of the modern day era to the black community and to our black politicians and how they interact with our community? I think that that's something that does need to be addressed. Like, Obama is not one of us, and we need to really make that clear. Like, take that dude off the Jesus mantle, because he did not deliver reparations. He did not deliver a hate crime bill. He gave us a blue alert, a live bill. So, like, I'm really kind of appalled by this, because it's just more and more. I just don't want nothing to do with anybody that's the age of 55 and up right about now, because of their mindset, because of what they're producing. I know that's really controversial to say, but I'm just looking statistically, what have they done? Like, am I wrong to come at this hard Newstoter?
No, not at all. I mean, and we have some 55-year-old people that's in this space right now. There are people that will go ahead and they will fight and they will rise. So that's not all of them, but too many of them are that way. I mean, to be honest, like yeah, I mean, it's so many black people that's 55 and up, man, that they feel like just being able to have a job and have insurance and have a roof over their head is more than enough. So you're really not wrong for saying that. And like I say, I hate to go ahead and generalize an entire demographic of people because, like I say, we know there are some because they come to this space, they're supporters. They're willing to go out there and they're willing to grind with you and I. But too many of their people in their age group have given up. They've been beaten to submission. They don't want to fight. They like, hey, I'm here. I don't want to cause no trouble. I don't want to upset anybody. I don't want to make these white folks upset, make them mad at me. I need my pension. I need this. I need that. So yeah. A lot of these people are finished, man. You can stick a fork in them, they're done. But let's not just solely say them too, because there's a lot of 40-year-olds in this space and on Twitter and on this app that also done. There's a lot of 30-year-olds that's done. There's 20-year-olds that's done. So you're right.
For Newstoter, like what I'm getting at is that we can't even have a simple conversation. Like I'm gonna get home. I can't even have a simple conversation with my parents about these views, about reparations, because they're so anti-black. And it's to the point, it's disgusting, man. Like I don't wish any death for anybody, but I really don't want this generation to go. Like, they're not gonna make it to the Garden of Eden, man. They're not gonna make it to the Promised Land. Nor do I don't want them to be in the Promised Land, because we don't want to have that same element running when we're trying to push for reparations, family. And I know that's extreme, but it's to the point where I don't see no hope from my elders. And we're supposed to be on the same page. You get what I'm saying, man?
Oh yeah, I feel you. And to add to what you're saying, Mr. Engagement, I was this past Saturday I was setting up for my cousin, older cousin's birthday party and whatnot, and and we were talking about this and that, and I was telling them about the spaces and stuff like that, and I noticed I looked in the yard and I saw that she had a Obama and not I'm sorry, she had a Joe Biden and Kamala like sign up there. So I'm like, yo, I like, what's up with that? Like, oh, you don't like Kamala and Joe Biden? I'm like, well, nah, that's not really my cup of tea and this and that. So we started talking. So we got to talking about immigration, and here my cousin had to say, now mind you, it's like three of us black men that's there, me, her husband, and her older brother. Her husband owns a business. Her brother is a contractor, and you got me there. And she's sitting there telling me, I was like, yo, with the immigration, I can't really get down with this and that. I said, it hurts black men. My cousin told me straight up, she said, well, it's because most of these black men don't want to work. And them immigrants come over here and they're ready to work. I said, well, no. I said, the problem is that you got these people that sit up here and they'll pay these people $5 to do a job. And these black people who, A, built the country for damn free, B, doing after slavery were sharecroppers and still was basically building the country for free. Don't want to get paid no damn $5 an hour or $7 an hour to go on top of no roof and lay down tar and all that stuff like that. And damn 100-degree temperature when they already have a track record of building things for free and not getting anything in return. So no, they're not going to go out there and kill themselves for peanuts when they've already done that. Generational of black men have done that, and I had to leave it alone. And like I said, now this cousin, she's in her 40s. I mean, so she's not even at that age limit that you're talking about. So I just kind of had to be like, okay, alrighty, that's how you feel or whatever. I had another cousin. I was talking my older cousin. I was talking to him about I said, you know what? We need to go ahead and we need to start doing like Dr. Claude Anderson said. We need to go ahead and start doing group economics. My cousin, he's on the religious tip or whatnot. My cousin said, well, that's going to fail. I'm like, well, why is that going to fail, bro? He told, well, because of the curse of the black people that we're Hebrews and that we're cursed and that, until the judgment passes, whatever we do is going to fail. So, so what can you say? What can you say? I'm saying, well, you mean to tell me that we can't get 100 of us here in Florida and Tallahassee to get together, like-minded black men, and go out there and create something? We set up something where we donate anywhere from we set aside $25 to $100 a month, and we start building this and that. Oh, that's not gonna work. Now after the judgment, we're gonna inherit all of this, and we're gonna have to inherit all of that. Which, like I say, your religion is your religion. I don't have an issue with it. I said, because how do you feel about reparations? Tell me, well, you don't need to really worry about reparations because once everything comes to pass, we're gonna get our reparations times 100. I'm like, so we can't get the reparations now? He's like, I'm not saying that. He said, I'm not saying that we're not owed the reparations. He said, but you really think these people gonna give us reparations? Like, we're not gonna get it. We'll get it after the judgment and everything else like that. So when we had that space talking about religion and whatnot, has religion helped to hurt black people? I mean, you just got to kind of just answer that for yourself right there. Because I had two cousins. I have a female tell me that basically we a bunch of sorry asses who don't want to work. And I had another cousin say that, hey, that no matter what we do as a people, we're under the curse, it's going to fail. So,
but just for 2 seconds, and then I'll yield the mic. Again, it comes down to respect. If we don't have respect for ourselves and force people to respect us, then we're not going to get any respect, man. And that's just like, that's what I see. And respect starts at home. And like, if our people don't respect us, then that's a problem that we have to check. Like, I have to check family members, old and young, saying that, like, yo, like, when stuff hits the fan, you're going to have to call me as a man. You don't even have a man because you can't even treat a man right. And all these parallels is based upon respect. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely feel you on that.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, man. I definitely understand what you're saying. So trust me. I mean, hey, what you're saying, man, I'm telling you now, I've had that conversation with people in my family, be it no matter what age group you're talking about, whether you're talking about 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds, whether you're talking about male, female. So trust me, I understand. And I'm telling you a true conversation that just happened this past Saturday, okay, with two of my older cousins. And you couldn't tell them that they wouldn't giving me game. They wouldn't telling me exactly how it was. So how do you think I felt? Like I'm sitting up here and I'm listening to this and I'm like, holy hell, are we serious here? Like, so you saying no matter what we do, my one cousin said we gonna fail, and my, my female cousin, she's older than me too. She's telling me basically that hey, y'all black men don't want to work. Like I say, even though everybody out there works or own a business, that the three men that was around me and her brother and her husband own a business, work and everything else. That we don't want to work. That these people come to this country, and I've been hearing that my whole life. These people come to this country, they work hard. Y'all just lazy. The jobs that's out there, y'all just don't want to take the jobs. Y'all just don't want to do this. I mean, this is an insult here. This is no matter how you cut it. This is a real insult. So I'm gonna go on since we got a couple new speakers. I'm gonna go to T Way, and then I'm gonna go to the Black Vote. So T Way, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, I hate that argument about black men don't want to work. You know, it's a look that have the skills, have the desire, and have the want to work. They might not, the young brothers might not have the training because he ain't at the ground level to take some trades and journeyman. Okay, I can't stand here. You do what black men don't want. First off, they took all the trades out of our school system on purpose. People don't want to talk about the context of it. I'm tired of saying, "Oh, the Mexicans come over here and do the work." They're allowed to get the contract. They're allowed to take a position for lower rates. They're allowed to do these things. They displace it. I think we saw that post going around online last week about the Fed did a study in Atlanta about the displacement of immigration at 40%. It follows the exact unemployment rate of 40% in Atlanta. It goes hand in hand when people don't want to talk about that shit. I know a few men that got PPP loans and bought trucks. I work in oil fields. I see plenty of brothers over my last 10 years out here coming out here making a good living because they pay a fair rate. It's not that we don't.
Hey, brother T Way, you going in and out of the matrix, bro. Going in and out.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're not working for no cheap rate. Like you said, we're not willing to work for those peanuts. People rather push a line, do illegal activities to support themselves for a fair rate versus work for slave wages. And a lot of times, these Hispanics are not working for slave wages. They get the opportunity to get the skills, then they move up the chain. Then they have the company. I work with the company now. These guys have 300 trucks. Talking about the fucking cartel, and they pushed out all the brothers out of the contract. And finally, the contact they had in the trucking outfit, he got fired, and they were actually level out paying out contract work. They come out here and they lock us out, lock us out. So people want to say we don't want to work. There's plenty of great brothers, smart and not educated, not politically, without degrees, who are willing to do the work, but we don't have the opportunity. Now, I can't stand the language we don't want to work. That's not true at all, at all. And I think we need to practice, I don't know, talking points around the holiday season, how to combat these same lazy intellectual talking points for them to lay down with the goddamn Democrat class. That's not, we need to have bullet points of how I will combat this. I know it's not our job to wake the shit up, but I get tired of hearing the same as fucking DNC talking points. They're old, tired, and they're not accurate. And I'm going to land it there, man.
Appreciate it, and I agree 100% with you. Like that's nonsense when they start talking about black men don't want to work. So I'm in agreement with you. And like I said, I had to hear that stuff, and I just kind of just shook my head like, okay, the Black Vote. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
All right now. How's everybody going? How's everybody doing today? Thank you for hosting this space. I would like to chime in on the immigration population influx, and just say that honestly, the big thing that we're missing is organization. So I'm with you and a couple of brothers. What you guys said, operating together economically, pooling our resources. I've already had successful campaigns so far. And now moving forward, just on a larger scale, that's what I would like to do. Excuse me. So pretty much, we have an opportunity to pretty much create foreign direct investment. We don't even have to invest in the United States together. We just got to, be contracted up. And what it takes is people actually get into the room together like a think tank, going over the options, what's most viable, what we can actually operate on, what our budget will allow us to do, and then do it. It's really simple as that. I don't really hear a lot of talk in general with individuals, talking about the solutions when it all comes down to economic solutions, because that fuels everything else. The respect level that we get from people as black men, the respect level we get from the politics and politicians, because at the end of the day, we don't even have any political capital, and that's what's going to actually move, our politics in our favor, is we're actually able to fund campaigns ourselves, and that's going to come back down to organization and investment. So, as I wrap this up, I have a great model being a Texan, so I see how the Mexicans operate, and it's not in bad effort. They're not purposely trying to push us out. They're just operating with one another like a machine. And when we get to that point, we're able to compete. We won't have to worry about the population distribution issue anymore, because we have a certain level of competition that's not be able to match. We got to figure out what our niche is. There's happened to be a lot of labor, and I don't think there's absolutely nothing wrong with labor, hard labor. But there's a smarter way to do a lot of things. We got, right now we got the digital scene tied up. We really got it tied up, and we have a whole new economy that we can explore digitally. So, like I said, I'm the type of person who like to operate with my brothers to come to actual conclusions and decisions, put the emotions to the side, and actually talk about the facts, the numbers. Actually do some real research reports, figuring out everybody reading the reports on code, same books, so we can actually come with some viable decisions to make together, and then you go from there. That's what I would like to do. This is not just theoretical. I'm actually talking about now. So anybody that wants to get with me, I would like to get with you. If you have any ideas, let's sit down and brainstorm. If not just that, because that makes it powerful. You guys know about iron sharpening iron. So let's do it. So that's the Black Vote. This is Eli T. Signing out. Thank you guys.
Thank you, brother. And that's definitely something. Like I say, I'm definitely, as long as everything's transparent and whatnot, I'm definitely leaning towards doing the group economics. I want to definitely go ahead and do that. I think it's something that definitely, being in a digital age is something that you definitely could do, where you don't have to be in the same city as people like you had to be before or whatever. I think a good thing would be to start a local type of group economic thing in your city or state or something like that, or town, just to go ahead and to get things rolling or whatever. But like you say, it doesn't. With being in a digital age right now, you can have people from different states and stuff actually doing things of that nature right there. So definitely on that. That's definitely something worth trying to do, and just like you say, just all the talking and whatnot. Instead of talking, let's go ahead and start trying to actually looking at things of that nature.
Hey, real quick, I add, Hispanics in this country, definitely in Texas, try to lock out other races. They lock out whites, and they lock out blacks. First they lock the blacks out, then they lock out the whites. When they become the bank, and they become the customer, then they work with their own people. White people don't understand that. Okay, so I'm going to correct the table. They definitely lock us out top and bottom, all other races, white people and black people. First they lock out black people, then they lock out the white people when they have the capital and the resources to lock them down next.
That's 100% absolutely how they operate, and it's also how I think we should operate. So it's just a model that we can take from and put forth ourselves.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go ahead and I think Ray lost his connection, so Ray coming back up in the actual Twitter space. So Ray, when I see you pop up, I'll go ahead and put you back again as a co-host. I guess you may be having some issues as well. So we're gonna go to Queen B. Before we go to Queen B, y'all make sure everybody in the space is following the host and the co-host. Make sure you follow the host, Newstoter, WPI and Ray Smith, and also make sure if you guys can, if you have a dollar, support us on Cash App. That is $Newstoter. Once again, that is $Newstoter. One more time, $Newstoter. Queen B, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Thank you, Newstoter. I just wanted to speak to Mr. Engaging. I wanted to tell him to not be so hard on the Gen Xers. I know there's a great number of Gen Xers that that have I should say they're just continuing to do the vote blue no matter who. I'm in that age group. I'm over 55 years old, and I continue to talk to my mother, who is almost 80 years old, because I feel like when I know this conversation is not about the generations and who let who down, but I feel like that boomer generation is where we got misguided and got off track because that generation didn't keep up with the fight. They stopped fighting. They stopped fighting, and that's what happened. And they taught us, the Gen Xers coming up in this generation, our generation, my generation rather, just go ahead and get along with white people, go get you a good education so you can get a corporate job. That's it. I mean, so we weren't really taught to fight. Now, of course, I'm not speaking for every Gen Xer, but I can speak for a lot of the Gen Xers and what I saw and what I experienced in my lifetime. But I think, I've woken up, and I've been out there and I've been talking to my family. Like I said, my mother is almost 80 years old, and every Saturday she's listening to the Black Authority. Every Sunday she's listening to Tariq. So I turn her on to the new Black media, and so she is way on board, with learning, and she's out there and she's talking to her friends. She's getting some pushback because they're like, wait a minute, what you talking about, not voting Democrat? But it's kind of like I was able to reach my mother, and she's out there. And so I think I just wanted to say that to Mr. Engaging. Don't give up. There's some of us out there that are, that are trying to school other people, trying to get out there, trying to spread that word, trying to get our family to become critical thinkers, to stop and really think about what they're doing, so that we can start to educate our people so that they will make better decisions, when it comes to voting, and to know, about weaponizing the vote, and to really understand about how the system of white supremacy works and how we can begin to dismantle that. So just wanted to let Mr. Engaging know that. Thank you.
Thank you again, sister. Saw Freeman in here, but he must have we had one of Freeman in there, but I guess he must have lost connection. So if the Freeman comes back in, we'll definitely go ahead and let him get a chance to go back and speak. Until then, Original, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Well, I want to say this. Karen Bass's ex-husband's name is Jesus Lechuga. So yes, he's Spanish speaking. And so that's why she's taken to them. And see, that's what I tell people all the time about these black folks who marry outside the race. They will take on that other race philosophy. And if you say anything regarding black, they're going to get upset with you. So that is her ex-husband, Jesus Lechuga. That is him. And, Newstoter, and I tell you, I think a lot of this, what you were saying about the religion thing, that right there is real. And I think that right there is what's holding quite a number of us back. But like I said, what I told you, what my mother said when after she crossed over, she said, it is beautiful here, and I ain't seen Jesus. And then she came back again, and she said, I was right. Because I told her that I no longer believe in that. But I'm gonna land with this. There was this lady here in Atlanta. She moved in with this brother, but then she wanted to bring Jesus into the house. The brother said, no, baby, you can't bring that up in here. So she got an attitude. So her and Jesus end up getting kicked out of the house. So then she came back and she was saying she didn't have nowhere to go. And brother told her, said, listen, that in your father's house there are many mansions. So you better go ask your father to give you one of them mansions and turn the porch light out and close the door. So that was our land.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Let's go to Ray. I know you was having some connection issues, and we're gonna go to Black Pressure. So Ray, you up in the spot?
Yeah, man, I've been having some crazy connection issues. Like it had me as a co-host, but I couldn't even raise my hand, couldn't accept nobody, nothing, man. But I just wanted to, excuse me, I just wanted to touch on something really quickly. So I heard someone say earlier before I got cut out about how we're a cursed people, but that just, we just have to use logic. That's just absolutely not true. If we were, a cursed people, you could give us the absolute best of every single thing this world has to offer, and we would fuck it up. But that's not the case. When black people are actually left, to ourselves, like in, Tulsa and these other places, we shine. Like I said, Tulsa had like how many banks and how many airports and things like that. And this is just black people coming fresh out of slavery. So I just wanted to add, they keep trying to push this narrative that we're cursed people, and that's absolutely the first thing untrue. You would need a system of white supremacy if we were truly a cursed people, because like I said, we would just fuck it up, even if we had the best of everything, and I land there.
Appreciate that, Ray. I mean, like I said, that was my cousin. He was saying that. I think I mentioned the Tulsa thing too, but I think he was saying that was the beginning, or that we were coming into the last of the actual curses or something like that. So that's why it was able to work for. Tulsa was able to last for a little while or whatever because we was coming into the last of our curses. And, like I said, one thing I don't do with religion, if somebody believes something, fine, that's what you believe or whatever. But I truly believe as black people, and that's not saying that every single black person can get together and you can do business with. I'm not saying that, but I believe that we could do group economics to the point that we can have something where you had a bunch of investors form an LLC or corporation or whatever. And we're in the era now of these multi corporations and everything, these national type corporations and stuff like that. I think that's something that we really as a people need to start looking at. You know, it's the same way that you have these national corporations go to these foreign countries and start end up buying up things and stuff like that because they have a bunch of investors and things of that nature. So I think that's something definitely in this new age or whatever. Of course, like I said, you have to be careful who you go into business with, but I think that's one thing that you go ahead before you actually even start lending money out. You go and you start building your team. You need to have an accountant. You want to have everything transparent. You need to have a website. You want to have a company bank account. That means where any and everybody can't just go in there and access and take the money and this and that. So I'm sure there's a number of things you want to go ahead and create a group tank and whatnot. Get together and get your money up together where you can actually have some economists and stuff like that, black economists, and you start formulating plans and whatnot on what would be a great business plan to go ahead and to implement things of that nature like that. So as much as we're talking about reparations, I believe that also group economics is something for the future that we need to also start to really, really pay attention to, really, really look into because hey, we're being squeezed out of this country as we speak. You can barely afford to find a place to live at. You got gas and everything else going sky high. You got this and that food and everything else. So we need to start growing our own food. We need to start housing ourselves. We need to start having our own insurance policies. We need to have our own dental plans and life insurance plans and things of that nature. We need to start actually looking into this type of stuff, man, and just stop having to look to white people and none other black people and stuff like that. We need to have our own grocery store chains, our own laundry mats. We need to start having all of these things right here. And we also need to go ahead and once we get to that level, start going to these other countries the same way these countries come over here and buy up stuff and squeeze us out. We need to start going to their lands and stuff like that, buying land, buying farmland, doing all this other stuff, getting ourselves a hold to mineral reserves in places like Africa and other places like that. So we need to start looking, and we need to start having a global mindset as a people as well too.
Can I say something real quick? I would just want to know if I can get in touch with you because you'll be surprised who you're in the room with. And as far as experience with everything that you say, because what you're saying is 100%. correct. That's exactly the direction we need to be going. But every asset class you just named, even when it comes down to the liquid ones like insurance policies, you need to definitely have a plan to get there. And like I said, all you need is a project manager to lay these things out in the actual, the back office where you can actually see what you're doing and the progress you're making and who's involved in that task. And, and then that makes it transparent. And also think about the blockchain because you can literally duplicate any aspect of the economy as we stand in right now, but make it for you or make it work for you. And that's why you see this is the black vote because we're looking to harness a black vote, but not for political, the federal United States government political aspect, but for the black American aspect, to vote on our culture, to vote on our economic standing, and what we want to do economically, to vote on, also actual political, whether it's somebody who speaks for us, we found like adequate for that time period, or it's actually somebody on a national stage operating with the United States government. Also with people that's operating with us, they're operating with us from different countries, right? You have diplomats, people that you designate. We can designate our own people. We don't have to, rely on other individuals. We don't have to actually be over in another country all of the time. We have a diplomat that's discussing these deals with potential companies and bringing it to us so we can look at it as an actual viable option or not. We can make these things happen. You have to make sure you're just around with the right people. But like I said, I would love to connect with you if that's possible. Follow me back so I can message you and we can talk about this, on the back channels.
Okay, this is the Black Vote that's talking.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and follow you, and you can DM me. Also follow the co-host WPI, so we can go ahead and we can talk to you like you say on the back channels, and we can see exactly what's going on and what we can do. So make sure you follow the co-host WPI. That's DJ. Just go ahead and follow him up, and we'll go ahead and we'll hit you on the back channels or whatever. And go ahead and try to go ahead and set up a if not within the next day or two, maybe this weekend or something, set up some kind of phone conference. We can all talk and chop it up and whatnot.
I'm already following y'all.
Okay, appreciate that, brother. And I think I'm already following you too. So yeah, go ahead and DM me. Go ahead and DM him as well, and we'll definitely go ahead and we'll chop it up and whatnot. Black Pressure. I know you was waiting for a second. Go ahead, unmute your mic, bro.
Hey, News, when your cousin was telling you all that, did you slap your cousin? You should have.
Nah, he's a good dude. Now he's just he's deep into his religion, man. He's a good dude. Now he'll do whatever. He'll do anything in the world for you, whatever. I just know, I just sit there, man, because I know he's got an answer for everything. So I just okay, here we go.
Hey, I'd have cash out you the bell, man. Either slap you, call not it. So. Hey, straight up, I apologize. I can't remember the young brother's name who was speaking about that it's hard for him to have conversations with his family about black issues and politics and stuff like that.
That's Mr. Engaging. Yeah, that's Mr. Engaging.
Okay, Mr. Engaging, and even you knew when you said it. Same thing here, man. It's I have the same issue with my family. Of course, my parents and my mother and father, they're baby boomers. I'm Generation X, but I'm the very last year of Generation X before it went to the millennials. I was born in '79, so I can say this. Man, a lot of times, like my grandmother used to say, God rest her soul, sometimes it's better to leave people to their own doom because that burden you can put on your psyche with all that stress, man, you could actually develop mental health issues and actually medical issues too. Like if anybody cares to read about a lot of the memoirs, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, you read their memoirs, they say some of the most stressful times in their life, they had to fight their own people. Like they were deep in white supremacy, fighting white supremacy. I would even say we have a much easier time than they did. But like I said, if you go back and read some of their literature, some of their most stressful times was fighting their own people. And I'll give you a little personal testimony of mine. I'll move the goalpost a little bit, but it's still relevant. Like I had it was at the very beginning of this year. I was, making a move to buy a house. And man, I was kind of apprehensive about, separating with the type of money that the bank wanted me to put down. And I was kind of going back and forth. Should I make this decision? Should I not? Man, I want to make the right decision. I don't want to blow my money. I mean, it was on my mind every day. I would take a shower. I'd be at work driving home. I mean, literally, I could not shake it. It stayed on my mind every day. My girl was like, hey, I want to live here and I want to live here. And let's look over here. Man, I got tired of driving around Houston, looking at shit. And like I said, I was just really stressing on making the right decision financially. I ended up developing Bell's palsy. I had this shit for like 3 months. And when I went to the doctor was like, man, like you're young, you're in shape. Like, what are you stressing over? So Mr. Engaging, myself, even News, we really, really, really have to watch the amount of stress we put on our psyche. And I'll land my plane right there.
Yeah, you're right, bro. Like with some people in the family, like you saying, and I'm Generation X to the very, 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 very tail end of it, whatever. So, like I said, and you have uncles, and yet I have people in my family that's at the other end of the spectrum, that's either in the middle or the very beginning of it, and you just see the difference in the mindset and whatnot. And my parents baby boomers too, so really politically, religion wise, when it comes to that, you pretty much try to stay out of those conversations with Mr. Engagement because their mind is already made up. They believe that they're right no matter what, that you're malcontent and that you're just popping off or whatever. So I pretty much just go ahead and when these political ads start running and you around family members and they start talking about how evil the Republicans are and how bad they are and this and that, and you sitting up there like, well, damn, what's the difference between them and the other ones? Like the other ones just as evil and just as bad as them too. So you have to let it go. When it comes to religion, like that's one thing people always tell you when you was working on the job, you never talk about religion and you never talk about politics. And that goes with your family as well too. You can talk about it, but you better believe you're gonna have a real fight on your hands. So you're best by just leaving it alone, in my opinion, because you already know the people in your family that support the same stuff as you and the ones that just totally don't. So if you don't want to have an argument, you don't want to have bad blood, I would just go ahead and leave them alone. Get to the people that's like-minded that may be in your family around your age, and even some of them they may be around your age, but they still may not share the same views as you. So just find like-minded people as much as you can, man. Ray, you got it.
Hello?
Yeah, you back, Ray?
Damn, man, this damn thing is tripping, man. This space is tripping. Yeah, I know it's a space, man. What was I gonna say? Oh no, I was gonna ask, man. You was talking about cursed people, and I meant to ask you this too. What in the world could we have done as a people to have to be this cursed? And I'm using air quotes when I say that. I know we did have a pastor here, so I was going to ask him at the time. Because obviously, we've heard about this 400-year curse that we're under, or whatever. But what in the world could any people have done to warrant what we've been through? I mean, these people have literally gave our babies to alligators. Obviously slavery and raping and all that, bug breaking, all these other things. And I was just wondering if anyone had any answer. Because more like
Right, you gonna start a war.
Yeah,
You gonna start a war, right? You gonna start a war.
Now that might be a space for a whole nother time, Ray, but it's basically just you're supposed to be the chosen people and you went against God's word. So just to sum it up, because like I said, that then we be delving into something totally. So we can actually do a space on that. But yeah, that it's just basically that you're the chosen people and you went against God's commandments and stuff like that. So that's it. Like I said, that's a space, but that's something there. Like you really.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, it's like.
I'm sorry.
No, you good, but I'm just saying that's a space, man, that you have to have that. That's
no, you have to do that shit for like a week, no? So like you have to do rooms on that for a whole week.
No, like real shit. I mean, this is a real question. I'm gonna leave it alone. But if we went against God's word, what the fuck has everybody else been doing? I mean,
what did white people do? If we went against it, what did white people do?
That's what I'm saying,
man.
They the saviors, aka the crusaders. See that?
I'm a Lando, man. Like I said, I don't want to start another 3-hour conversation. But
oh yeah, like I said, that's a good space that we may have to go ahead and hold something like that, and and a little bit have a space like that, and then like my cousin, I may have to bring him up just so y'all can hear this dude, because you be like, what in the world? Like my cousin, like he be going in, man. Like I told him, I said, man, you need to be on Sonetta and them. I'm like, you need to go on Sonetta show on YouTube, right, and talk to Sonetta them, because this is crazy, man. We gonna T-Way, we're gonna go ahead and let you get it, and I'm gonna let DJ go ahead and get it, and then we're gonna go ahead and probably close it out for the night.
Real quick on the ad, like you said, that phrase, don't talk about money and politics at work or religion, money and politics at work. That sounds like maybe, I don't know, a white man's talking point. It has to be, because us being a good Negro, or the model.
No, I say don't talk. Don't. They say that if you want to get into an argument, and just if you ever hear people really going in about it, that they say two things that you should never talk about, and they tell you that at work too.
Yeah,
like you work,
yeah.
don't talk about religion, and don't talk about politics.
But I get it. But like I've heard it too, and I know you go around and around. You're not gonna change nobody's opinion, but kind of like reminds me when black people say, "Don't knock people's hustle," or "Get it how they live." No, knock their hustle. Get it how they go. Let's have some standards of how we get it and how we survive out here. And maybe talk about religion and politics and money, so we know everything's on even playing field. Maybe they just putting these things up for us, so we have these imaginary boundaries, so we can be kept away from the truth. A lot of people don't want to share their information, and just get it how you live, or just having standards. Maybe we should be talking about these things, but that goes back to the point of it's not our job to wake up white people. No, it's not. Or it's not our job to wake up sheep. We don't get anywhere. I want to push back on that talking point, because not doing that got a lot of lost souls out here being good Negroes. And the days is over, or we're over. One of the two. I'm at the theater.
Doubt, brother. And I appreciate you coming into the space tonight and dropping some knowledge for everybody in the space. So really insightful space tonight. Real insightful space. DJ, go ahead and say what you got to say, bro.
Yeah, we agree to agree. So, just to give my little family testimony, my sister, right? So I'm telling her everything we talk about. She tells me, get the fuck out of my face with that shit you talking. I said, this is some real stuff that's going on that I'm talking about. Man, I don't care about none of that shit. I'm going to vote blue to the day I die. Huh? Don't text me none of that shit. What? What's wrong with you, yo? You know what I mean? So, Mr. Engaging, that's the game. I talked to my aunt. She worked at City Hall all life. She just told me the other day she used to roll Fannie Lou Hamer, yo. I ain't even know that shit, you know what I mean? So, but when I say, hey, look, Jim Crow Joe, oh, but Trump. But auntie, Jim Crow Joe, his son smoking crack on live TV. He weighing the weight out on the scale. If I did that, I'd be in jail. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he ain't doing that. The news media make it up. Auntie, why would the news media put a camera in front of Hunter Biden and force him to smoke some crack? Come on now. You know what I'm saying? This is the level of shit that we got to deal with as reparations, yo. So, Mr. Engaging, like Precious said, don't stress yourself, man, because this shit will send your ass to the ER and you don't even know what the fuck hit you, yo. You know what I'm saying? So, I've been there more than once on this occasion where it's like, you know something? I'm not fucking with y'all. And when I mean I'm not fucking with y'all, you might as well pay me as the black sheep of the family. I'm not coming around. Don't call me. I don't care. Damn near something really hit the fan. Don't call me. Like my cousins right now, right? Don't call me 10 at night, 11 at night. I'm just getting home, and you asking me, calling me up, yeah, cuz that you banging on the door? Cuz, no, I'm at my own freaking crib. Well, shit, who the hell banging on the door? I don't know. Did you go check? No. Well, shit. This is why I be telling you to get your 2A license. By the time I make it down to the next 2 or 3 towns over you at, you could have maybe called the police. They might have showed up. But shit, who the fuck got time for either waiting on me or the fucking police? You better get your gun. You know what I'm saying? Your 2A license. Ain't nobody got time for this shit. Same thing with my bro and them over here. I be talking about this doomsday prepping. How much water y'all got in your house? We got to go through another pandemic, and they telling your ass to stay home like they doing these Chinese over in China. CCP, you know what I mean? How much water you got in your house? And them folks ain't even getting no food. It's not like they telling them to stay home and we're bringing the food to you. They ain't got nothing to eat. So that's pretty much they entrapping them, trying to kill them off. Yep, on some real shit. I know you don't want that to happen to you. So what if your back was in a corner like that? Are you prepared? You got medical bag, bug out bag, in case you gotta leave the house. There's a lot of shit going on. I know we fighting a war on all fronts, like Dr. Claude be saying, but we spread thin. So again, I ain't saying don't worry too much about trying to get everybody, because collectively ain't no group of one people or culture or race or whatever demographic has been ever been on the court. This is why I tell y'all to go watch that Netflix documentary, The Last Kingdom, and you can see the shit these folks did then are doing the exact same thing now. Only difference is the sword is a pen. They legislating us to our death, yo. They don't got status no more, yo. It's over. You know what I mean? So yeah, go find your 144 and move on from there. Hey, when shit the fam, I told you so, fam. So don't come over here saying, can you help me? Because the answer is going to be the Noah. Close the door, yo. Close the door. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to have to learn on your own and figure out everything that I had to figure out and go through hell and hot water with y'all arguing and putting stress on me, like you said, just to tell you, hey, look, this is what's happening. It's not like I'm trying to get you to jump off a bridge. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is, all I'm doing is laying down some information to you. And y'all got to give me your ass to kiss. That's how all folks do, man. But I yield there. One love, y'all.
Hey, before you close out the room, dude, I just wanted to ask if everybody can actually vote, could we just get some information and data from everybody? Like, what is y'all's perspective on the best investment for and opportunities for the Black group economics? So,
And actually, yeah, I did put that in the jumbotron, y'all. If y'all look in the jumbotron, the Black vote, he got his poll in the jumbotron. It's on the far left side, and it says, "What are the best investment opportunities for the Black group economics?" Me, I'm Fat Boy Gang, so I chose agriculture. And for the record, too, Black vote. I also got a degree in landscape, agriculture, horticulture. I could be growing my own food, but I live in the city. But there's really no excuse to me because I know how to use square footage. You feel what I'm saying? So, but finding the time, to do that. And unfortunately, most of the tethers, they run a lot of the either whatever's left of the greenhouses or whatever folks are doing on their landscaping. You know, that's a tough business with itself. That's why I didn't last too long in it after I graduated.
oh yeah, we got that.
I think I put commercial, but in terms of commercial, I mean also by retail, since Black people are big time spenders and stuff like that. I figure that if you're gonna do something in terms of group economics, why go to Popeyes? Why not start your own franchise of Popeyes? And why not start your own get your own convenience stores and grocery markets and things of that nature like that. Of course, I want to get the real estate. You want to get the houses and you want to get the apartments and condos and things of that nature as well too. But since we go out and we spend more money than anybody else, I figured why not go ahead and get your own. Why in the hell do we need like a Popeyes? Who can make chicken better than a Black woman? Like, come on, like who gonna make fried chicken better than some Black woman? You go ahead and that's just they had on Popeyes, Annie's or whatever. You get Annie, you have them come over here and start cooking for you, and you go ahead and you do just like these other major corporations and stuff like that. You start name dropping, you get LeBron, and you get whoever coming in and start endorsing your product, and boom. You start looking to try to get 30, 40, 50 your chicken joints in these cities and stuff around the country or whatever. So, yeah, I say real estate, but really, I mean retail. Like, I think retail, I think we need to have our own Black family dollar stores and stuff like that. So, that's my mindset, in terms of it.
Hey, can I speak on that just real quick, Tada? So, like with the retail, right? So I got retail background like crazy, well over 30 years, right? And I always feel like when I talk about like selling CDs and stuff like that, that the retail is connected to the physical market. But now that it's never going to go out because you're always going to need to go to the store. But I think what it is we maybe should do more is come up with ways to you know get more product on the shelves of these stores that are already in existence, whether it be a WPI. Yeah, we can still have our own Black Dollar Tree and all that other stuff, but for the record, we need to be selling to everybody. Henceforth, with that being said, too, getting the Jumbotron, the second from the left, the Black Vote, we got our own social media network that we're working on, y'all. Oh, my bad, I don't do the beat
let me just piggyback off of what you said real quick. Like, yeah, I agree with you. Like selling to everybody, but I'm saying when I say have your own like your own Black Family Dollar store. All I mean is that you actually own the actual store. Yeah, you'll sell white products. You're gonna still sell Coca Cola. But you're also gonna have sections in there that you're gonna have actual black companies and stuff, and they're selling their stuff as well too, which they don't get to sell in these in a lot of these dollar stores. So yeah, you're gonna sell a Coca Cola and a Tide and all these other major white corporations and stuff like that. But you're also gonna have sections in there where you're selling black owned goods as well too. So you're giving your people an avenue and whatnot. And like I said, you own it or whatever. Like so.
Right. So with that being said, hey, the Black Ball, you aware of Maggie Anderson, our Black here?
I can't say I am. Fill me in, please.
Yeah, just look her up right here on Twitter. Maggie Anderson, Black sister from, I think she's from Chicago or something like that, or Detroit, one of those places. But Maggie Anderson, Our Black Year, she got a book, Our Black Year, and basically she's, did a challenge to herself personally. I'm buying nothing but black stuff, and she detailed the ups and downs of it. And I've been on my best game to try to buy black as much as possible, but over here in New Jersey, it ain't much black anything. So, that's why we're talking about relocating to where there's more of us at. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead on that note, y'all. I appreciate everybody who came into space tonight. We're going to go ahead and shut things down for the night. If you guys could, try to make sure you're following all the hosts and the co-hosts. Ray, you got something you want to say real quick?
Yeah, they're really, really quick, man. I know you're going to close out. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone that wished my wife and I a happy anniversary. Other than that, I'll see you guys on the next one.
Okay, happy anniversary. I didn't know it was y'all anniversary, but happy anniversary to you, man.
Yeah, bro. 14 years, bro. We've been together since we were 17, 18 years old.
All up for stuff. Congratulations, sweetheart, man.
Definitely. So y'all, like I said, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna close it out for the night. So I appreciate everybody who came into space tonight. We will be back tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, our usual time. So you guys make sure you go ahead and come back in. Make sure you guys go ahead and share out this link as well too. So anybody that missed it, any of your followers, they can go ahead and they can catch the recording. We definitely appreciate you guys for your support and everything. So thank you once again, and we will see you guys tomorrow night.
Peace out, y'all.